Boom. 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 Boom.
Hello and welcome back to the Pop Tab Podcast, the podcast that's as sweet as soda for breakfast. I am one of your hosts, Brent Kruscke, the upholder of the unpopular opinion, and joining me today, as always, is the ghost host, Jacob Stokes.
Hello.
The Pop Tab Podcast was filmed in front of a live Twitch audience. If you'd like to be a part of that audience, head on over to twitch.tv/RealPixel, and you can be part of the conversation, tell us when we're wrong, and enjoy when we're right. And if you want to be up to date with all the stuff that we're doing, head on over to patreon.com/RealPixel. It's a free account. You can sign up, know when we do go live on Twitch, when YouTube VODs become available, all that stuff. And the audio versions of this podcast are available right there. But enough of that. We're going to get right into how we always start the show with a little bit of housekeeping. Streams for the week. Thursday, Stokes, James, and I are all going to be playing Deep Rock Galactic. A couple of dwarves in the caves, as Shay would say. We're going to go mining, have some fun with that game. Probably not going to get too deep with it, just more of having fun. And then we might start picking like a single game to always return to on Thursdays. We've been kind of branching out, seeing what's out there. And we might circle back around to probably Overwatch or something we're a little bit more comfortable and familiar with.
Something a little more consistent.
Yeah, but Deep Rock Galactic is a ton of fun, so we all wanted to give that a shot to see if there's anything there. Friday, I'll be playing Elden Ring. Saturday, we're taking off because we're actually be doing a different stream with Mr. Covert Go Blue. We'll be running a drip stream, so no streams here on Real Pixel because we'll be busy that day. And then Sunday, I'm definitely going to do a stream. I don't know what game I'm playing yet. It might be more Elden Ring, or I might start a new game. I'm thinking maybe Last of Us 2, because as we'll get into what we've been watching and playing, I watched the whole first season of Last of Us between last podcast and now.
And
So
11
movies?
movies.
12. I watched one last night, too. Bethany was gone for a chunk of that time, so I really didn't have much
what
to
were
do.
you doing? Oh, my
I
God.
didn't have much to do.
She was okay with you watching Last of Us without her?
She has no idea what it is. She's not familiar with it or anything like that. And I was like, I'm going to watch it.
Well, we'll get into it.
Oh, yeah. And also I was like, and I know how she'll get like attached and emotional where I'm like, you can't do that to anything in this show because it's all gone.
What do you mean?
I think my problem with
Are
Last
we
of
out
Us,
of housekeeping? Because we're going to go right into what we've been watching and playing. So
Yeah.
I'm ready for
That's
you.
the streams. So I figured out my problem with Last of Us, why I can't attach to it. It's
I'm
the
ready.
same thing I had with The Walking Dead. Is there seems to be a rhythm with Apocalypse, whatever.
Like, okay.
Every-
As a genre.
Yep. There's no good. It's all just bad, and there's no levity, and it's just beating me down over and over. And I don't get sad if I'm already down.
There's no levity?
Not in the specifically in the Last of Us show, because I don't remember the game very well. The show, every levity moment is surrounded by a haze of darkness where I'm like, well, I know this isn't actually levity.
That's
This-
life, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like when I think about like the moments in shows or movies and stuff that affected me, it's because it came out of left field because I was having such a good time. In my mind, I always go to like Scrubs or How I Met Your Mother, where it's like, I'm having a great time, and then they'll throw a sad episode at you, and I'm like, oh, fuck, that really hit. Because I was not sitting down to these shows expecting to be hit emotionally. Where Last of Us, I sit down and go, well, this is going to gut punch me any chance it gets. So when the gut punch comes, I go, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And that's, I think, my problem. I can't get attached to it.
And that's why you think Bethany can't get attached to it?
No, she will. But
Then what's wrong with that?
But we're going to be on separate levels. So I was like, I'll just go watch it by myself. And if she wants to watch it, she can watch it. But then
By herself?
when she's sad.
When is she going to be able to watch a show that you're not watching?
Oh,
with?
she's watched. I mean, if she gets off for the show she does watch, because she's watched all of the Bridgerton shows, all the seasons, and then the Queen, whatever, multiple times.
But like right next to you?
Well, sometimes when I get home, she's like halfway through an episode. I'm like, well, just finish your episode. I'll put in earbuds and listen to a podcast or do whatever to finish up, read manga. But then she could do that with Last of Us. But I don't want to watch Last of Us with her and me being like, I can't attach to any of this, and her being sad. She's like, you don't think it's sad? I'm like, I can't think it's sad. There's no hope in this world. I got no hope. There's nothing to me to attach to. That's I think my problem.
There's
I
no
realized.
hope. I mean, I guess, are we spoiling it in any way?
I think the
Because
first show,
there's hope in there, right? Like you don't feel
I don't see any hope.
with the whole thing with Ellie, like
No.
her whole point, her whole purpose of getting a cure to say.
Well, they
to
kind
stop
of
it?
shot that. They're like, nah.
Well, the very last episode, but you have hope through. I mean, probably not the first episode because it's very like setting it up, right?
Yeah.
But how many are there? 10 or 8?
There's 8.
So 2 through
Nope.
8.
9? No, 8. Yeah, 8.
2 through 8, right?
Well,
Or
I'll also
7
be
or-
honest. What's the episode with the 2 guys? Bill
Oh,
and
what episode is it?
yeah, whatever episode that
Sure,
was
I don't
that everyone
remember.
talked about as the best episode ever.
Dude, those people are goofy.
I got real bored.
Those
in that
people are
episode.
goofy, dude. I don't know what they're thinking.
I thought it was gonna because
it was a plenty fine episode of TV, but I was also like, because I think I know the games pretty well.
Yeah.
And I said, what a waste of
Right?
time. This was like, I don't know, because it comes from a throwaway, not a throwaway, because it is important. It's like hard, you literally can't miss it. It's not like one of the secret notes in the cabin in the backyard of this other character. Because there's a couple of those stories that I'm like, oh shoot, I think in the movie or in the show when they go into the sewers after Bill, there's like a preschool.
Oh yeah,
There's like a
yeah.
little school in
with
there.
The kid and the other guy, Henry,
Yeah,
because that lady
And Sam,
loved
I think.
yelling Henry a lot.
that lady.
The lady that was like trying to kill him for like an episode before I even know who Henry was.
Oh.
She's like, "It's Henry, it's Henry," and I'm like, "Lady, you need to leave
and
off
then,
Henry."
And then the kid was Sam, right?
yeah, they believe so.
Yeah. Well, they're in the preschool, and then
Yep.
they end up coming out in the suburb, and they're fighting. But then they come out like crawling out of the way.
Yep.
If like in the video game when you play through it, you get to the sewer and you talk about it's like you use a shiv to open up a door, and it's got a bunch of kids and an adult dead because the adult just killed all of them, so the zombies didn't kill them, I guess. And then as you like go backwards through the suburb, in the suburb you find notes that are like on the entrance of the sewer. They're like, we're almost there. We're going to set up a school. And then, oh, everyone's saying that we're going to be safe in the sewer. Like it gets more hopeful as you go through, but you've already seen the ending.
Yeah.
So it's not one of those stories, this
No.
Bill moment.
Isn't
It's
don't you
it's more
interact with
so-
one of them in the game? Am I confused?
Bill is the main character.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's
why
why
the show
he's the one
show
that like,
confused me.
He sets up all the traps, and you do run into him, and him and Ellie have their like firecracker, like
Yeah.
the
The banter.
I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. But then, I believe it's when you're going to a school or something like that. You find whoever Bill's husband was. I don't remember his name because he's not. They say his name, but he's not a character in it. Frank, maybe.
I think it is Frank.
Well, I'm pulling that like
I think
that's
it
deep
might
in
be
my brain,
Frank, but this is
Frank.
I was
Frank is a skeleton hanging from the ceiling, and it's like I know that's Frank because he's the only one who would wear a flannel that ugly.
that shirt. Yeah,
Who'd wear a
I
shirt
do remember
that ugly. Yeah, and then he cries about it, and it's like only alluded to that it was like why you love this guy so much?
Right.
Is like, oh, he's gay, but it doesn't say it.
And I felt
You get this whole episode that's this backstory. I was like, man, I don't know. I like just the subtlety.
I like the subtlety, and I also like the
We didn't get what's her name, Melanie? No,
Melanie.
that's a
It harkens back to the Notebook, the movie. Everyone says is sad because at the end they lay in bed together. And spoilers for the Notebook.
Well,
they lay in bed and
It's
they die.
sad in that I cry and that they're dead.
Right.
But it's actually I'm really happy.
It's
'cause
happy.
There's no better way to go.
But in the book-
and she remembers.
Right.
That is like, oh, you die as who you. Anyway.
But in the book, she dies and he lives. There's a sequel to the Notebook about him and his family, and I'm like, that's way sadder of a story. And it's the same thing with this. Is like when they do it in the show, they have their moment together, and I'm like, oh, that's really nice. I don't know why I spent a whole episode with them if they're not going to interact in my story really at all.
Because I think in the show, right, Joel and Ellie show up and everything's already
Everything's
gone
done.
to shit.
Hey, we left the window open. Grab my shit and get out.
But it's like there's interaction with Bill and Ellie the whole time. And
yeah, and I missed that.
I think in the game, Bill saves himself to stop the door for a minute, or he does one of those kind of
Something, yeah.
heroic things. But I don't really remember that too well. Anyhow,
I also thought when they were driving away, they grabbed everything they could in the truck and they opened the gate to leave the area. I really thought they were gonna keep driving, and the whole little subdivision was gonna blow up behind them. They're like, no, this is it.
Yeah.
We were here to show up. But I guess the note said to whoever, probably Joel or whatever. But yeah, I thought the show was actually my favorite part about the show. This will be really silly. There's a moment, I think in the last episode, where Ellie goes to drop a ladder for Joel. And I went, oh my God, this is such a video game thing that they put in the show. And it doesn't feel like a video game thing. It works so naturally in the flow of the episode. I went,
hey, go on, get that ladder over there.
I was
for
like,
me
this
so
is
I can-"
fucking great.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I loved it so much. I was like, this is a video game mechanic. I completely recognize the video game thing, but it doesn't make me
feel
go, funny,
like
video game.
Video game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was so good. But I do think that show...
There was an episode in there, too, that you may not have recognized because it's actually just the entire Left Behind DLC is one episode.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the episode where she like sneaks away into the mall.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole DLC. It's not in the game at all. Again, it's like it's alluded to that Ellie's a lesbian, but then it was like, oh, you're kissing your friend. Like this is okay. We can see it now, and also you see how it's like, we'll both lose our minds together. I think she says that in the main game and in the show, but then it's because girlfriend said it, but they were both going to do it, but only she lost her mind. Which I don't think in the show or the game you get to see that.
No, you don't.
It's just like
she just says it, tells Joel that what happened.
like, oh man, what a savage thing.
I thought it was interesting that and I felt like maybe I just missed it in the game, but I felt like in the show they knew way more about why everything was happening, like what the disease was, where it kind of started. Like they even had that flashback to where, like in India.
It could have been Indonesia. I'm not remembering because it was at a cold open essentially.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, it's interesting because I didn't ever feel like I wanted more information about it. It's kind of cool.
Well, what's
and
interesting,
I didn't know it was tied to climate change.
What you're saying is it's kind of like the show is more aware of what happens than the game seems to feel.
Yeah,
it's because the game you're so tied to Joel and Ellie only.
Yep.
I mean, really Joel at the beginning and then switch to Ellie. But in the show, like we said, Bill gets his whole episode. Mm-hmm. The same way that it's like Joel doesn't know what goes on right there. He knows a bit at the end.
Yeah.
Because they're, dead. But the same way that the show knows something that Joel doesn't about how it started with this like mushroom fungus or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason they showed it is because it is like softly based on a fact. The same, it's like what's that Pokemon? Parasect?
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. The mushroom with the eyeballs, and turns out, wait, the Pokemon is the mushroom on the crab, not it's the same thing. That's a real fungus that takes over brain. But they're saying here they're not like what's his name? Lee Isaac Chung, I think is the guy who did Twisters, who didn't want to put a message in.
Yeah.
This one's like, no, zombie show. Climate change did it.
Yeah.
Climate change made this mushroom be able to exist in different climates. Oh, because now it can live in your body.
It evolved to live in, and I was like, maybe I just missed that in the game, but that's crazy.
It has its own story and lore. Like they couldn't make a game like this without any version of a lore Bible, so they have one. And like the day of the outbreak has its own PlayStation celebration day called Outbreak Day. So like there are things deeper in the lore that matter, but
go beyond the gameplay.
Yeah, it's like, but you're reading about it in the lore. It's not the game. It's not. They don't ever show it to you. You don't need to know. It's not anything that's important.
No, I do think that the show. I don't know if it would have been better, but for me, I think it could have been shorter. Knowing that one of them is the DLC, I think it makes sense.
I think really every show.
It could, yeah. Well,
there's almost because everyone's like, we're going to order 10 episodes, and you're like, I got a tight 8, and they're like, sorry, make a Christmas episode and make a musical episode,
right. But for me, it was the very last episode. I felt like they were stretching to make it an episode, only because the last episode is, hey, we're going this area. Hey, we go up, we're going to stand, we're going to talk for a second. Cool. Then we're going to walk a little ways, and we're going to stop, we're going to talk a second. And we're going to walk a little ways, we're going to stop.
Where does that episode start? Or where does the last one end, if you remember?
It starts, I'm thinking, getting to the town that the Fireflies are in.
Yeah, the hospital.
Yeah,
that's they're getting to it.
They're getting to it because they're going in a building where they have to climb up, which is the ladder sequence, and they see the giraffe. But they stand right where the giraffe is.
That's the final episode?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait.
That's like 4 episodes before because Joel gets hurt there.
That's that episode. No, this one, what did they do? Now it's all, I watched it too close. Now it's all melding in my head. But I just remember the last episode being, we're walking somewhere. Hey, we're going to have a moment. We're going to talk. Oh, I think it's them overlooking the city. And they're like, oh, it's like, we're going to be something. We're going to have a moment, talk. And then all of a sudden they're like, cool. Then it cuts to see them, they're walking. And then, hold on, let's sit and have another talk. Then they're walking again. Then they stop. All right, let's have another talk. And then ambush happens. I was like, that was 3 scenes back to back of walking and exposition where you were just trying to either get it into this episode or we're trying to lengthen this episode because all this stuff didn't need to be talked about like right now. It was really weird feeling.
I don't remember that.
Especially because I thought the whole Joel break out of the hospital was way less powerful than in the game.
Oh,
Because it was all
Sure.
handled and kind of muffled and fast. And I was like, man, I felt like I remember Joel being super brutal at this moment, like an uncaged animal. And I feel
well,
like
it's tough because you're playing it in the game, and in that one you're just killing people how you kill people, right? Which is however you want. If you
Yeah.
get a gun, just shoot everybody in the
well, I
face.
just remember. I thought I remember.
But the Marlene moment at the end is the like his brutality of just like, fuck you.
But wasn't it? I thought wasn't it in the game. Maybe I'm misremembering. But I thought in the game there was a moment where he's like got someone on the ground and he's asking him where Ellie is and just keeps stabbing him to get
Yeah.
answers. Like that's not in the show. And I was like, where's that? Like I want to get my hands dirty to get the. They did that a little bit earlier when
Yeah.
she's in the bar or whatever, and he's like stabbing that guy and asking where she was. But I was like, I thought this end was like nothing will stand between me and Ellie at this point. And I was waiting for that to happen, and he just goes around and shoots people, which was I think artistically done and still fun. But for me, I remember having that moment in the game being like, oh fuck, Joel is off the chain right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The big thing in that when I think is like when he comes in and he sees her and the doctor's like got the scalpel
Yeah.
or whatever, and he just fucking shoots
him?
I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
Like that guy wasn't here to kill you. I mean,
Nope.
he had a
He's like,
scalpel.
I
but
can't let you take her. Bam. All right.
Yeah,
Get
and it was just like,
get her up.
oh fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's different for sure. But I think that and the Marlene are the brutality for me. But
yeah, no, I enjoyed watching it. I think it did well to the game. I don't think anyone else has disagreed with that, and I'm not the biggest fan of the game, but I thought it was really well handled.
it's pretty 1-to-1 with the game.
Yeah, which is great.
Except for the bill thing, I think.
Kind of like Borderlands,
because
right?
it's a full.
We'll get into that.
Oh man,
So, like you said, I watched a ton of movies. So, and a lot of them are like quick, bop, bop, bop,
just yeah, blast it. Did you give it a heart? Because we're on Letterboxd, by the way. You can follow us on Letterboxd. Are you Windows?
I'm Windows.
I'm
with a one and a
Eisengeist.
Z.
So I'm my gamer name. He's his gamer name.
Is there a link that we could share? I can put in the descriptions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
going to put in the descriptions of the YouTube
Should
and
be
the
a
audio
profile
stuff.
link
but-
at least.
So let's go through. So Blackwell Ghost, you're familiar with these. It's the one-man found footage documentary
Yeah.
style things. There's 8 of them. I rewatched 5 and 6 to get ready because 7 and 8 were out, and I was like, what was happening? Because it kind of gets a little bit muddled. 7 and 8 go crazy. It's awesome.
So you watched 4 movies in a 8-part series. So
Yep.
okay.
So 5, 6, they're all great. They're all amazing for what they are, but on a level of like, you got to know what you're getting into. It's a one-man show. There's one man in this movie, and there's sometimes interviews, but it's mostly just a guy with a camera getting scared. But it's actually really well done. By the 7 and 8, he's going toe-to-toe against a serial killer. And it's fucking fun. It's a great time.
Wow.
I watched another found footage movie, an anthology called The Dark Tapes. Did not get a heart. It was meh.
Continue.
One story in it was good. The rest were not very good. I watched another found footage movie called A Town Full of Ghosts, where people
good
decide
name.
to buy a ghost town, and they're going to renovate it and make it a tourist thing, and things go wrong.
That's the same premise to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Funny enough.
Yeah, the new one, yeah. It was, I don't know what it was missing. It just didn't click. So,
Okay.
good try. Ghost Project was a movie that it's not a found footage movie. It's such a weird movie to watch. It's really, I thought it was good. It's made really well. The lighting, the cinematography, all that stuff. The actors aren't very good. So it's weird to see such a high level of production with low level actors. Now, I think what's holding them back, though, is I don't believe English is any of their first languages, and it's an English movie. So I think that's probably hurting them. I think they're
Okay.
probably better in their native language. But watching this movie, never hearing of any of them or anything like that, I think that's what hold it back. Hey, what up, James?
Are you late? Yeah, you're barely late. We got another
Yeah,
3
yeah.
hours of this.
So I think that was a fun watch. If anyone is interested in that, it's not found footage. It's pretty simple, but it's a good time. You're laughing at his name.
The director is Federico Finkelstein.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I watched a movie called Dark Windows, which is not a found footage movie, and I thought it was pretty clever. It's just very simple. 3 friends, there's a friend, one of their mutual friends dies because of a car accident. They're all in the car, so they go to this house to get away from it all, and then they start getting attacked by somebody.
Very good.
But I thought there's shots in it and moments that are really good. There's a really good moment with like a window, and remember in Midnight Mass, the eye reflections.
Yeah.
There's a moment with like curtains and you just see the eye reflections in between the curtains. I was like, fuck, that was a really good moment.
Nice.
So that was a fun time. I finally watched Bodies.
Oh.
Because I tried before and then your Plex wasn't working for me.
Oh,
It's on Netflix.
Right. I was like, oh man, you dropped out. I thought that movie was pretty engaging from like 15 minutes in. It's like engaging.
That movie is just like,
I've seen that movie maybe 2 times now, but I liked it.
I
a
wish
lot.
everybody wasn't so dumb. I think it was like a step over too dumb, but
Well,
at some
it's
point I
like
go,
not-
I understand that's the
they're
point.
entitled, rich, dumb, like
Yes.
drugged, drunk, like all of the things one could be,
Which-
to displace them from reality. They're all of them.
Which I felt like a little lost because I thought for a long time only the one guy was rich and they were all just mooching off him. Not until the end
No,
did I
it's like,
realize they were all
well,
rich.
besides
The main girl.
the main girlfriend.
Yeah. It took me a long time to realize they were all rich. I thought they were all just mooching off the one rich friend.
Yeah, but that one they play the game Bodies, which is
yep.
like a Among Us kind
Among
of
Us,
game. Like,
One
we
Night
can call a
Werewolf, yeah.
meeting. There's a fake dead body, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they, of course, find a real dead body.
And then I
Dude,
found
Lee Pace in that movie,
Lee Pace.
the much older boyfriend who gets a kettlebell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Dude, he's like, guys. He's like sleeping with his fucking
Yeah.
face mask or
He
whatever.
gets whatever seasonal depression. So he wears that life mask. I was like,
I love this guy.
Dude.
Like, I like him as an actor too, but he was so fun in that movie.
I watched Five Nights at Freddy's. I thought it was very good, very fun.
Oh, good.
It was
There's a sequel coming.
different than what I thought it was going to be.
There's a sequel movie coming. I don't know if you saw that.
good.
It's a soft announcement, but Shay wanted to watch that, and is the reason I didn't go to the theater when I had the chance to because she wasn't available.
Mm-hmm.
But alas, it has sat on Peacock waiting for us to watch. I think that's where you watched it, right? Peacock, probably?
No, it was on
Prime?
Prime, I believe.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I watched a found footage movie called Frogman.
I know. I'm so... You know what, dude? Well, tonight is Alien.
Yep.
Tomorrow is Golf.
Okay.
The next night, Alien.
Okay.
Then we're streaming. No, I could keep talking my
Yeah.
schedule, but Screambox has got to happen. I thought about it today. I saw a new movie announced under Screambox's banner, the Bloody Disgusting Screambox banner. And I was like, why am I not? I listen to these guys all the time.
Right.
I'm on their app all the time reading news.
You're already in their culture, essentially.
I really need to give them my money.
Ecosystem.
And it's like $6.
Yeah, it's not expensive.
I'm just going to say skip the 7 days.
I
I
signed up for the 7 days and then I deleted it after.
Yeah, well,
watching
you
Frogman,
can you can use mine. It'll
Okay.
get our money via me.
Frogman did not get my heart. I was very.
Oh, that's okay.
I was disappointed. But
There's enough of a zeitgeist ethos around it that
You still gotta watch it.
A lot of these other movies I will probably not be seeing.
And then
but-
this is my most surprising moment. I watched. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I watched Dracula 2000. Have you seen Dracula
with
2000?
Tyrese Gibson rather.
Tyrese. Wait,
Is he in that one?
no, it's Dr. Foreman from House. That's probably who you're thinking of.
What the fuck? I mean, I've never seen it. I know the cover
With Gerard
and everything.
Butler as Dracula.
Oh wow.
So
Wes Craven presents. He did not direct it.
no,
but Wes
just
Craven
presented.
presents.
This movie. One, it's very much of its time. It's from that window.
Sure.
The long black cloaks.
It's
the,
Omar Epps that I was thinking.
Omar Epps, yeah. Dr. Foreman from House.
Sure.
He it's from a very particular window. Like the main character, she works at a Virgin Records CD store. That's her job. So I'm like, wow, this is a snapshot of a time.
Very
But,
specific, yeah.
They do something with the lore of Dracula in this movie that I went, holy fuck, that's so cool. It doesn't really make sense, but it's really fucking cool.
Well, it got your heart, it sounds like.
It did.
It
And
is a
there's two
26 out of
sequels.
100.
It is?
On Metacritic, it's got a solid 26.
It's fantastic.
It's
I'm
got
not
two
saying- It's
sequels?
also, yeah, it's
What are
got two different ones, both starring, or not starring, I think has, blanking on his name. He played Bruce Lee in the Bruce Lee story. I don't know if anyone returns for
Oh,
it.
yeah, Dracula 2. See, Dracula 3 Legacy, this is the cover I recall.
Oh, okay.
That's
The guy
one
in the
of-
top right's the dude I'm talking about. That actor. I can't remember his
Wow,
name.
they're all
He's from
4.6s. That's a very specific. How do you get that? Jason Scott Lee?
Yes.
Yes.
He's a blast to watch. He's really good. and he's funny, good action. He's great. But so I'm excited to watch the next two. Will you watch it, Dracula 2000, or can I tell you what they do with Dracula?
Will I?
Yeah.
I mean, Shay really likes Dracula. I mean,
Okay.
Is this one you would actually recommend for me to watch?
It's not a great movie.
I mean,
but
I don't
it's
watch
so
a lot of
much
great.
fun.
Well, you'll see it because I'm about to talk about my letterbox. I don't watch a lot of great
so
things.
much fun. I this is going on my list of I might revisit this movie a lot. It's
Really?
it's just a ton of fun.
But you don't revisit Dracula like ever.
No,
I mean, did
Well-
you tell me to watch Dracula Untold?
I don't know if I have, but you should. It's fun.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the movie 2 or 3 times.
Where you at on Bram Stoker's?
It's fine.
All right. Maybe I'll watch this one.
I
So don't say it yet.
I like this
Dude,
vision of Dracula more than
Bram
the
Stoker's is fine.
weird
Okay.
hair, long nails.
Yeah.
I just
I
don't
mean,
like
well,
the
he's only
Dracula.
that for like a moment, right?
I like Gerard Butler being sexy Dracula. That's my Dracula.
Well, we
right there.
get Gary Oldman as sexy Dracula.
Well, I don't know.
Dude, the top hat and glasses.
Watch.
I also
you
think
should
he's.
see Gerard
I also
Butler.
think he's sexy pre like full vampirism. When he's got the whole muscle suit on, dude, and he denounces Christianity, the cross starts crying blood.
Maybe I haven't watched this movie in a long time. This is the one with Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm thinking of the right movie.
I think he's two different types of hot in those parts. Obviously, he's old, wrinkly, and
Yeah.
before he tries shipping his ass over. But
Yeah. No, this one, I don't know. Dracula 2000 is my Dracula, I guess. Well,
is
no,
you just watched this
minus
movie?
no. Van Helsing is my Dracula.
Oh, I do love it.
That one's perfect.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
the Dracula is not the part I remember, but I would love to watch that movie again.
But this Dracula,
It's on my Plex
is
now.
a
I just
good
put
time.
it up on my Plex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
But I think you should
It's on
watch
there.
it, mostly because I think it'd be interesting to hear what you think that what they do with Dracula. I thought it was really clever and fun, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm 100% sold." But again, not a great movie.
dude. Dracula in Dracula 3 is Rutger Hauer.
There we go. I'll get there. I got two.
I-
I got to watch 2 first.
I probably won't, but I'll try the first one.
I'm excited.
Where'd you? Is this on Prime too?
That's a great. No, I think it's on HBO actually.
Oh,
It's on
Nathan
Max.
Fillion's in here.
On 3.
Ooh, I don't have Max.
Oh, I got Max.
Okay, we'll
We'll work
figure it
something
out.
out.
We'll work
All
something
my
out.
people get in touch.
No,
with
he's in
people.
he's in the first one.
Nathan Fillion is in.
He
the
plays
first
Father
one.
David in Dracula 2000.
Yes, he's got a small part. She goes and confesses her sins or whatever.
So that was your those were your watches, huh?
Mm-hmm. Most surprising, Dracula 2000. It was so much fun.
Well, I watched 5 movies, gave 3 hearts.
Okay.
I want to jump right to
Oh
Borderlands.
shoot! Yeah, I forgot. I did watch.
Well, we just watched Borderlands
that's
together,
true, but
so
I
we'll
want
get to that
type
one
it in
later.
before I forget.
Oh, good thinking.
So it's in today.
So I went Prime slumming.
Prime
with-
slumming.
with Buddy Colin.
Yep.
New York Colin. I'm just trying to pull up this poster here for you. This one's just for you. I watched Battle Beyond the Stars. Look at the testicles on this ship.
I'm familiar with.
I would
the
not.
name.
I would not have been. This movie was
Not that poster, though.
One of those. It's just a blast. You know what I mean? Like you never expect a movie like this to happen. It is. It is 7 Samurai. It is go get the people, go do the mission. Like, but before you have to like gather all of them.
Yeah.
It's funny because it says like in the beginning, this like a 7 Samurai movie. And then keeps going, and we were like, "What does that mean?" And then as we watch, we're like, "Oh, it's just the plot." That's like if Lion King just had a Hamlet movie.
Oh, weird.
It's like what?
Like if I guess.
Like it's Magnificent Seven. It's like
Yeah.
it's all the things, but it's what? Why did you say that? I don't know. It's so strange.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like, oh my. Well, at first I was like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then of course, I was like, "Oh, you have to go find the first mercenary." Okay, I see what's happening. So that was very unique.
It's funny because it's like a term like the movies wouldn't recognize, but we all agree with. Where it's just like, what was it recently on Kind of Funny? They talked about a Capcom movie. It's like, what does a Capcom movie mean? And in my head, I go, oh, all the Resident Evils.
Yeah.
All like that's a Capcom movie. In my head, I go, yeah, I know what that means.
Yeah, no, that makes
They
good
would never
sense.
put that on a. Hey, think of this like a Capcom movie, and you'll have a ton of fun. No
Yeah.
one will put that in their movie, but
Well, Colin and I have had a fit of movies we've watched that have John Saxon in it.
Okay.
And we said we need more. We saw John Saxon was in this movie. He was one of the top casts. We're like, okay, fine, we'll hit play. We're always between like 3 different movies that don't make any sense together. But this one got my heart. It was a ton of fun. It was like, it very much wanted to be Star Wars with a lot of the visuals that it was bringing, but there was just so many more nipples, but not human nipples. Just It was a nipple-filled movie.
That'll be on the stars. God, it sounds so. Not like I've watched it, but I feel like I've heard someone talk about it a lot.
By the way, so you can see why it's like, oh, I want to be like Star Wars.
Yeah, man. I don't know why I know that so well, but
it got my heart. Next movie I watched in theaters, I watched Cuckoo.
Okay.
Which was a fun one for you to figure out how you spell it.
Yep. Cuckoo.
This movie was really great in that the trailer, I thought, told me more about what the movie was about, but it actually told me nothing.
Oh, that's good.
I was like, oh, I'm glad that I had an expectation that it was going to be a good one without like these are going to be the story beats. And I'm happy that it was pretty much subverted. You get the same visuals. It's not like they lied to me, so they're not getting sued by anyone who's like, I didn't get this actor or whatever. But it had the moments that it presented as scary in the trailer still came off as scary. Nothing was really spoiled. And it was like one of those good indie unique stories. Dan Stevens in this movie is just killer. He is
always so good.
I mean, he is always great, but this movie takes place in like the Swiss Alps or something like that, or just I should say in the Alps because they're actually in Germany. But he plays a German, and it is so good.
Have you watched Eurovision yet?
No.
Okay, well.
Is he German?
Yeah, you would see he already can do a German.
Oh, really?
And he can sing, and he can be flamboyantly German.
Well, I know he can sing because Beauty and the Beast.
Right, but like sing in German with a German accent, and he can play a flamboyant, like, oh, I'm not gay because I can't be accepted in Germany as that, but we all can agree.
Well, I don't know German. I'm Duolingoing German.
Okay.
Took some German in high school, took some in college. I'm familiar. And his German sounded amazing.
Oh,
I was like, wow, that's fantastic. You must actually speak this language.
He may speak German in Eurovision, but his character, it might be like Gambit speaks Creole or whatever.
Yeah, there's some French words in there, so you're like, okay. Well, anyway, so Dan Stevens was amazing. Hunter Schafer was great in it. I had a good time with it. It was weird. It was like it went weirder than I thought.
Okay.
Because the trailer makes it seem pretty. I mean, you've seen the trailer, right?
Yeah.
With the do.
Yeah.
And the woman running behind the bicycle.
Yeah.
With the hand out. Wow, you really.
That movie just has nothing for me.
Oh, but
I know the trailer.
You're talking like you don't remember the trailer. Yeah. Well, it just went way east.
And
if that trailer had nothing for you, don't watch this movie.
I think that's why. Is because I was like, this movie could just go to where it's pointing me at, and I don't want to go there. And if it goes further, I really don't want to go there.
I wouldn't say further. It really, dude. What's up with my computer?
Yeah, your laptop's trucking.
There's something running. I'm gonna have to shut something down here. Give it
taking off like a PlayStation.
Like a PlayStation. Yeah.
Every time I think of
For real.
a console running loud, it's a PlayStation 4, probably.
4.
Yeah.
4 ran pretty hot. But it got my heart. It's one of those movies that's like, I'll watch this again. I'm not going to recommend it to almost anybody. I'm not going to. It's that level of weird.
Okay.
Shay and I continued our trek through the Alien series to prep for Romulus, which comes out this Thursday for us. We got the tickets for it. So we did Alien Resurrection and Prometheus.
Both great.
Neither of us took to Resurrection.
Well,
so
you can be wrong. It's okay.
Sure.
I read the novelization of Alien Resurrection.
Oh, that's probably fine.
I mean, after watching the movie because I liked it so much, but go on.
Yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah. I mean, it had more shining moments than it did have like function as a movie for me.
Okay.
The moment that homie gets sucked out through the little hole, I was like, this is fantastic. And I was like, I kind of feel sad. Like,
right?
He's so like,
how do they make you care for that?
Yeah. He doesn't say mommy, but
no, but you could see it in his eyes.
It's those eyebrows.
Yeah.
They went back to practical.
Yep.
So I like that.
Except for the water. There was a couple visual water, right? Like
while it was
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
while
water.
it was
yeah. There is
which is
one
so
when
good.
when it comes out of the water, I think. There's a moment where it's like wet out of the water. And I was like, oh, this actually, it looks pretty good. Like it's
Yeah.
a visual effect of it writhing from the water. But
From a time and a place.
yeah, I was able to click back on that.
Yeah.
But Alien 3, I was like, whoa.
Unfinished movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Released.
I feel like I really did get the the previs. I got the
Yes.
previs on that one. I was like, "Ew." So we kind of powered through, but I do love every time when we're putting on these movies. She goes, Winona Ryder, but
Yeah.
she to just an actor,
Any name.
an actress, yeah. But I did look, and she didn't bat an eye at Ron Perlman, which I was like, well. And then he came on screen and nothing. I was like, well,
Wow. That's crazy.
I didn't say anything either because I knew. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
to be like, oh no way, or oh, what about Ron Perlman, Shay? Whatever.
Lost on her.
Yeah.
Did she say anybody in Prometheus? Go. Did she get surprised by anyone in Prometheus?
Did she get surprised by anyone?
Because they're all newer people.
no. But
She didn't go.
She didn't
"Girl
say
with a dragon
anything.
tattoo."
No, I did tell her that.
Oh, okay.
I told her I was like, Shay. I don't know. Whatever. I said this is
Yeah.
this is the original girl. She's oh okay. And I was like, yeah, you have no touchstone for who this person is. I mean, she probably knows the rest, right? Right? Tell me she knows the rest.
I would hope so. I mean,
Yeah. Or at least can be like, oh, I recognize
what's,
you.
is Numi Rapace, I believe.
I couldn't. So I say Numi Rapace, but it could be Rapace. I've never heard it out loud. I
haven't
should
heard it
probably
either.
look that up. But
She,
she's not really acting as much.
No, she was in Sherlock Holmes, the second one, Game of Shadows. She played one of the roaming. I forget what they were.
Well, they said gypsies.
They did in that movie.
So we're
I
not.
was trying to
I was
avoid
say,
that.
So we're
That's what
not
I was
going to say
trying-
that.
Yeah.
Romanians?
Romanians, I guess.
I think they were Romanis, as they say.
That's a
I
great-
hedgehogs too.
What a great movie. We
I
just
love
put
that
on the
movie.
first Sherlock Holmes the other night to like fall asleep to, and I went, "Fuck, these movies are so good."
Yeah, well, you can't. I couldn't fall asleep. I'd be like, oh, he's gonna do the slow mo head cock to the left. He's
I've
deaf in the
also
ear, you
also
know?
seen both those movies a lot.
Yeah, I haven't seen them that much, but anyway.
I saw the second one.
So
three times in
Numi's
theaters.
great, but it's also got
Fassbender.
it does have Michael Fassbender, it has Charlize, it has Idris Elba.
Yep.
It has I couldn't tell you his name, but the guy from The Ritual, the horror movie I really like with the
Is he the one
Norse
with the
god.
cool sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's
Why
got,
can't they sell
it's
that
got
sweatshirt?
the hold on.
It looks
what's
so
the-
comfy.
What does he say? It's like their blood will be on your hands.
Oh,
That guy
Yeah.
from Mission Impossible.
the fallout of all your good intentions.
Yes. I could every time I heard his voice, I was just like, you can't fight the friction. I just was like, God, the best trailer to exist. Which is funny watching in Prometheus. Because also a really good trailer.
Yeah.
But anyway, thinking, and it has a to use a term I talked about recently, it's got Tom Hardy at home.
Oh, okay.
If you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Discount Tom Hardy.
Discount Tom Hardy. What's the other one he said?
Fat man, not.
Oh,
Fat
well, that
Man.
was Fat Damon. Yeah, that was different. I'm trying to find this guy's name. But anyway, Shay really loved it. I've always liked this movie. I feel like we really have been, Logan Marshall Green is his name. But we've been defending this movie, I feel, to people who are like, oh, it's just run to the left or right. I'm like, guys, stop.
It's
That's
not-
one section of this. It's a movie.
It's such a good movie, and the problem was that it's such a good story and such a good horror movie that just didn't happen to have aliens in it, like the xenomorph aliens.
Which is so funny because thinking back, I was talking to Shay about this. I remember there's a moment where there's all the vases and that they're looking at and they're touching the little black goo. And one of them sees this green crystal and they look up and you can see like a xenomorph on the wall. And I remember watching that in theaters and going, is this an alien movie?
Oh, really?
I mean, I was so out of touch with movies at that point.
That's
Like
fair.
I was just watching whatever was fed to me. And I was like, oh, sci-fi, whatever. This looks cool. Like the visuals of the trailer start with the guy like drinking the thing on the water and it's in Iceland and whatever. It's beautiful. And I remember having that thought and I was like, maybe that's the reason I like this movie because I had no expectations of anything. And at that point, I hadn't even seen an alien movie.
Oh, for me,
I just recognized it as like, oh, that's an alien.
for me, it was I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my god, that's a fucking space jockey. Like I was like, I'm excited to see more of that guy. Though these aliens, these people. because from the first Alien. I'm like, I want to know more of that.
It's in the when I told Shay, let's watch the trailer just to see if there's alien touches in it or if this really was a surprise to people. And then it shows the helmet and stuff. And I was like, I'm just gonna make sure again. Let me go to Alien and look to make sure that's a visual in Alien. I saw it again. I was like, yeah, I thought so. Like when they go to whatever that planet is, 462 or whatever.
And they go
it's
down.
like, oh, you see the ship, you see the
it was all
the
set
jockey,
up.
you see all of it. And I was like, oh yeah, this was an Alien movie, and it was pretty clear.
It wasn't.
I could see where
Split.
I'd be frustrated.
Like Split the
How
night.
it's tied to
like,
this.
Hey, guess what? Wink, wink, and you're like, oh my god! It was like
It's in a connected universe. So I was like, no,
everyone should have gone in knowing it, but a lot of people didn't.
that would be for the worse. I think if I had gone in being like, ooh, a new Alien movie,
right? Because you don't get the xenomorphs.
But that's that middle person, right? Like, I was far to the left on one side of I know nothing. Now I'm far to the right of I actually know everything.
Yeah,
like not everything, but I see too much.
Yeah,
about marketing, and I see the behind the scenes. I already know what Superman looks like.
Yep.
And they haven't even announced a date for that movie, right? And many people probably don't know who the actor is. What Corning Sweat? Who's going to remember that name? Whatever. Just these kinds of things I unfortunately know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have been fine with Prometheus still, but Shay loved it. She's excited for Alien Covenant. I'm excited to just be done having like a movie that's already predetermined for us to watch, so we can like choose something new.
I kind of want to rewatch Covenant. Like I said, I only seen it the one time, and I've seen the other ones a lot.
I've seen it once, and then part of it in the Best Buy break room.
Oh, okay.
I was like, this is a fun movie to have on, but strange one.
Yeah.
And then we watched Borderlands just mere moments ago.
We literally were running late to the podcast because we went to the theaters and watched Borderlands.
What a devastating blow for mankind.
Whoa!
No. It's not that bad. I mean, I have some stats here on Borderlands because we're going to get into box office too.
Right.
So we can talk about, we're watching this. It's a Tuesday. We watched it on Tuesday. We didn't catch it on the weekend. It made $8.6 million domestic, $9.3 million worldwide.
That's a lot of money.
On a $100 million budget.
That's a lot more, though.
That's to not break 10% worldwide on your budget on the first weekend is like, I think you might be fucked, bud.
How could you not make 10? Like, 10 million is a lot of dollars.
It's a lot of dollar bills.
But a movie with Kevin Hart in it, let alone anything else, how does a Kevin Hart movie not make $10 million on a weekend?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Kevin Hart, Cate Blanchett, Jack Black, Jamie
Black's
Lee Curtis.
There,
you put that name all over marketing in a different way, it might hit.
Yeah.
But there's only one character in well, I guess Florian Montanou. You can't really see him. He's Krieg.
Oh, yeah.
You can't really see him, so he doesn't really have a cast
Who was
in a way.
he before?
Oh, I don't know.
No?
I couldn't tell you what he's done.
But
that's where you're like, you're right. How do you not make anything?
Even if the movie's bad, how does it not at least make? Okay.
Oh, it is Ivan Drago.
Is it?
Or, well, his son.
Okay,
Victor
that's
Drago.
what I thought it
By
was.
name alone, I thought that was him.
I thought
couldn't
it
have-
was.
but
I was
he
like,
looks so different physically.
He does. He
in that
looks thinner, which is weird because he's so thick.
I'll say leaner.
Leaner, there you go. Okay.
Anyway. So it is crazy that movie just didn't seem to break in any way. But maybe it's because, as we look at the next stat, it has currently sitting at a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is up from its earlier in the week 0. And it has a 27 Metacritic score, which some people prefer one over the other. Some people hate them both.
For me,
neither are good.
I don't know Borderlands. The game. I mean, I played the games, but I don't know the story. For me, that movie's greatest crime was just being so paint by numbers and so middling that, like I said to you, in the climax, the final part of that movie, I zoned out and started thinking about what game I wanted to play on stream on Sunday. Because I was like, I know I still need to decide on that.
We also both mentioned that we almost fell asleep.
Yes.
Which is
tiring.
interesting because this is my second one of these giant sodas.
I had 2 ices, and this is just my soda.
2 ices. I had candy. I had the popcorn. I was energized. We were hype leaving for the theater.
Yeah.
Chatting up a storm there, chatting up a storm back. But in the movie, it was just I was a daze.
I put my head on the seat next to me, and I was like, nope, can't do that, or I'll be out.
I know some people care more about the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't think about that. It's a 52%, which is notably better than 9.
Well, I was just saying,
But the
right
fact
in the middle, right?
Right,
That's my problem. It's just a middle movie.
it is right in the middle. But so many other movies in theaters right now, like the lowest. God, I can't even find a lower audience score. I mean, look how much. Seven Samurai. That's kind of
Even
funny.
Horizon
Look at these.
has a 70. That's crazy.
Look
No one saw
at
that
all
movie.
those movies. I mean, 20 movies.
Yeah.
Not one of them is less than Borderlands. So the audience score is always kind of inflated high, right?
Wow. For a second, I thought I found one, but it was Borderlands.
You're like, oh, that one's pretty
that one's
shit.
pretty-
Yeah. Anyhow, so it's doing pretty poor. Yeah, I don't want to speak too much on it as someone who's like really, I've been up and down with the games, we'll say,
Yes.
but I've been invested into all of them.
I would say you're vested in the story. Even
Yeah.
if the story didn't go the way you wanted or whatever, you're
Yeah.
invested in the...
I think I've only missed Tales from the Borderlands 2.
Okay.
So I was pretty caught up. The third one really let me down, so I stopped paying as much attention. And the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was story light because it was a create a character kind of thing. You're role playing, and it was softer. But man, that movie, it definitely it had some sins.
Can you, for me,
Yeah.
on that Rotten Tomatoes, what does Warcraft have? Every time I think of a video game movie, I go back to this.
Take a guess. I'm not gonna let you look.
On which
Oh,
score
give me
we're
both.
looking at?
Give me both.
Both?
Well, because you know it's going to be contrasted, right?
I think
It
it's going
has
to be. I think it's going to be a low. It's going to be a rotten critic score.
Give me some percentages.
I'm going to
some
go
numbers.
with a 34,
Okay.
and then I think the audience score is probably going to be higher at like a 72.
So it's a 29
Okay.
critic score. It's a 76.
Oh, I had the
Audience
right
score.
thing.
So audiences seem to dig on it.
Okay, because every time I think back to video game movies, I don't know if a video. I'm trying to think of all the video game movies we've gotten, or I
Oh,
guess
don't start thinking. That's
not
a
like
big
all
list.
of them, like in the last little bit. Because I think recently people have talked about how video game movies or shows or whatever can be done right, even though we're still in a slew of ones done wrong.
I think
Halo.
Last of Us and Fallout were
The
two like proponents for
Yes.
that. Two different tones, two different types of things, and
But for me, I thought Warcraft was awesome.
but
I
we
don't know
we don't play
much.
the game. That's the
But I thought it was so good. I went in that movie and I saw the game on screen.
makes for a great 4K.
It's so cool.
But anyway,
I wish I knew the story to have one way or other on it, but I
Nah,
just enjoyed the movie.
I'm good on. I think I'm good on the story. Of WoW.
I'm
I'm good on the story. WoW.
So looks like Wolverine and Deadpool are still number one.
You say that like a question.
Surprising.
Wolverine and Deadpool are still number
still
one.
number one. Interesting.
Yeah, they made
Borderlands did knock it out with its 8.3.
8.6 million
Oh, sorry,
is
6.
what it did this week. Deadpool and Wolverine this week did 53.7.
Dang.
That's like, I don't, dude, it's 7 times more than what Borderlands did on its opening week. And is this its third week now? I think it's its third week.
Yeah.
It did pass 1 billion. It is still not at the top yet. It was at like, I think 1.029 when I checked.
I think it's its fourth week, right? Because we saw that, then we went and saw Trap the next week, then there was nothing last week, and then this is this week.
I don't think there was a nothing week. We didn't see it on the weekend.
Oh, I
'Cause
guess.
Borderlands
I guess,
came out.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm
you're
seeing
right.
something in 2 days.
In my-
that is
yeah.
part of the new
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
So it was 3, I think.
Okay, got you.
All the same, Deadpool made past the billion mark.
Good job.
So that's the only other box office news I have. But that also catches us up with everything we watched. We didn't play anything unique, did we? We tried the Dungeon Born.
You can watch
hated
the
it.
stream. Yeah.
Absolutely hated that game.
I had fun with it at the time I had. I will not go back.
That's what I should say. It's
Yeah.
not that I wasted my time with the people I tried playing with, but I uninstalled and then realized it didn't uninstall properly. I uninstalled it harder. I double tapped it.
I uninstalled it after stream and downloaded Deep Rock, which I'm more excited about to play. Because I know I have played it.
Did I talk about Fields of Mystria on here? I talked about it coming out.
I think so. That's the
Game Boy
one.
Advance
Yeah, you
looking
did talk
one
about
that I
that, but I don't think
mentioned.
you played it at that point.
It's really great.
Oh, good.
They've implemented there's like shortcuts essentially in the game. There's like skill points that you can use to level up, and you get them for doing anything.
Oh, that's cool.
Except for walking, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But you sell anything, you harvest anything, you mine anything, whatever. You're getting light XP, and you can spend it all on something that you like doing. And then there's there's magic in the game, so you can just be like, oh, crops grow,
Whoa.
and it like expends a resource, but that I don't have yet. I haven't gotten to that point, but it's
Gotcha.
just one of those things. I'm like, I want an easier Stardew. I want a lighter Stardew. There's like, I think 8, maybe 10 romanceable options rather than 20.
Gotcha.
You know, it's just it's small things.
Yeah.
That's the only new thing I've been playing.
Cool. Yeah.
I've been watching
everything's gone
OWL Japan.
Oh,
That's
okay.
been happening. Getting some tags on there. Trying to find let me find some teams I like, because one of the OWL, the way they're doing this Calling All Heroes event, it is not the Dallas team and the
Fuel or
Singapore
Yeah.
or it's not Shock,
Seoul,
Fuel.
yeah.
It's none of those. It is just teams. So like Space Station would be a team, but
Mm-hmm.
one of the tournament winners, not this week but recently, was Crazy Raccoons. I was like, I've never heard of you guys, but I want merch now, you know.
Right.
So it was cool just kind of catching these esports teams that when you look them up, they have teams in all these other games as we're prepping for the Olympics, as we're looking at whatever the official name is of this global tournament. I don't remember. The one with the breakable medallions.
Oh, yeah. I keep getting it wrong because I keep trying to re-Google it, and I keep getting it wrong. I thought it was the World Championship. Maybe it's like the World League. I keep getting-
Esports World Cup.
That must be it. Maybe that's why, because I think World Cup is
Yeah.
just a soccer thing. But
Oh, they have their own app. I should really download that.
Oh, yeah.
I've never gotten that ad before. I feel like I should have gotten that 1,000
Right.
times over by now.
because it's what games are still happening?
Coming up next is StarCraft 2 into Modern Warfare 3 into EA's FIFA, essentially, Football Club 24.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have played StarCraft 2. I'm not
How's your
good at
APM?
those games. I'm not good at those games at all.
Yeah, I
Anything.
know.
But
Different brain.
man, watching someone that's really good at the game play it is so fascinating to me because I've played it.
It's fascinating. It's like watching a tracer play when you know how to play the game. It's like dizzying.
Yeah.
It's one of those games you should have like a third camera, an isometric, a caster speaking
Yes.
to you, because it can be a lot.
Yes, they do whip. Yeah. It's like watching that Mecha Break, I think it was, watching the fast
Ooh.
people play that.
Ooh.
Whoa, that game looks really
tough.
cool, but wow,
was
it's
tough.
hard to watch. Definitely, and I think we've talked about before, when you're trying to get people into esports or into like a competitive world of gaming, you have to find a game that's followable.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of video games, if you're not on the sticks, you're not controlling, it's really hard to follow. And I think we've always
Well, it
pointed
should be
to,
like any sport. You know the simple rules like football, but you don't know the intricacies of footwork, or
Yeah.
that he had to do this one special thing to what. How hard is it to cross over a basketball between your legs? It's Rocket League. You
Yeah.
know how to play soccer, so you're watching cars fly through and score. It's all you need to know, but you don't know how hard it is to hit that boost right and control that fucking car in the air.
I'm setting up. I've got my app, everything. I'm ready to watch every Eagles game this year. I cannot name every position on a football line.
Oh,
You know what
sure,
I mean?
sure.
I'm
I
excited
was
to
like,
watch
what do you mean?
football, but
Yeah, you couldn't point to a middle linebacker. For
not
me.
at all.
Could you? Middle
No.
linebacker?
I mean, is he in the middle? I'm guessing. I don't know.
Well, okay, never mind.
Okay, there you go.
That was a failed experiment really quick. I said one and I was like, I guess that kind of has its name in it. And linebacker is like it's like a jock name that you would hear in a movie. Oh, he's a linebacker for the
Totally.
football team. You know, he's team captain.
But say here's the football field, 40-yard line. That's where the line of scrimmage is. You give me all the players and
Yeah.
the middle linebacker, this, and you give me little Velcro, and I have to put them on there. That's gonna be real messed up.
That would be real fun to watch.
That's gonna be
actually.
real messed up.
Yeah.
I would give my best because a lot of them have like end.
How
or
about this?
line,
How about this?
middle,
Linebacker, offense or defense?
Linebacker is obviously on defense.
It is. Good job. Good job. Okay, that's all. That's all our sports
All
talk.
right. Yeah.
Before we have anyone else sweating,
But just Eagles won their first preseason game.
preseason games mean nothing.
I know, but
That's
it was exciting to watch.
everyone's playing their B team, their
Yeah.
stringers.
Well, I'm just saying our B team's better than their B team.
That's great. I'm so happy for us. When's the first Eagles game officially?
Oh, the first official one? I don't know. They play their next preseason's on Thursday.
You know, I'd love to see you do a fantasy draft where you just draft Eagles players in every position.
I mean,
Like if the Eagles win, I win, baby.
I mean, that's what. So I did one time. I did a fantasy hockey league, and I, God, what did I? I forget the. Oh, I did the Angel Grove Salsa Sharks were my team, and they.
Oh, that's what you named.
That's
them.
why I named my team.
I was like, what is this a part of? I was like I was like, is this real fantasy? Are they playing made up teams?
No. So I made my team, and essentially every time I picked someone, I was like, who's at that point? I was like, who's on the Red Wings? Okay, I'll take them. There's no Red Wing players that are in the top 15. Okay, I'll take this other team. Like I don't do well with sports. People
Say
on that level,
your
but-
bye weeks must have been a bitch because everyone's off.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, we should probably stop talking about sports.
Okay.
Wrong podcast.
I guess you're ready to get into trailers and announcements.
The next
which
thing we've
essentially
got,
means D23 is what we're getting into.
Hey, Nate. Welcome
Hey,
in.
Nate. Sorry, I missed the beginning parts. I was on a small trail hike with a coworker. No worry, we're getting into the good stuff.
Hey, hiking's fun. We're just about to jump into movies. All you need to know, Borderlands ate shit.
That's true.
That was the thing we talked about, and we watched some movies. You want to click us over? Get us in the theater?
Yep.
Wait for it.
Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. I was like, wait a minute, why is this wrong? There we go.
There we are. Cool. So the real news is that D23 happened.
D23, Disney's big whole everything, essentially. Their Comic-Con, whatever you want to call it.
It's
huge.
All of their card games, board games, any property that has
Theme
Disney
parks.
even related. Oh, yeah, theme parks. That's right. There's theme park announcements I
Yep.
read through.
So exciting.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot in that, like, trying to sort through this news is just so much. So we could play trailers, we could whatever. It would be a nightmare. We're just going to read through the list, talk about each individual item. I listed them as I believe they were announced. I tried looking for that the best I could, so there's no chronology other than just like, here's what Disney thinks is
so
important.
hard, yeah.
It's like, I was like, maybe I do release dates, but you'll see some of these aren't release dates. Some of them are just like, this thing is announced, period. Some are TV shows, some are movies. It's all over.
I think you did great.
Thank you so much. Because we're going to start with what I think is most people's number one for this year for sure, Moana 2.
Let's go.
November 27th, 2024. We got a new trailer. I think everyone's excited about it. There's really nothing to say, right? Except for like Moana was amazing. Here comes another Moana.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, there's a lot of things I remember from our Florida or our California trip that we went on. But
it's the only time I've ever seen Moana. So.
But the thing I remember the most is sitting and being like, we were all sitting there. We put on the movie for your cousin.
For Lil
right?
Gwen.
Yeah.
My cousin Lil Gwen.
Just put it on. And then all of a sudden, me, you, and Shay are all sitting there like, what the fuck? This movie's so good.
Yeah.
Like, we are sucked into
We're like,
this movie.
oh, the water
is so pretty.
when she steps into the water. I remember having my mind blown. I was like, wait, is this Jermaine Clement? Like, hold on. And then Shiny was like an anthem in my life for that. I was like, God, I love this song so much.
It's just so funny that I think like there's a lot of stuff I remember that trip, but seeing Moana for the first time is high on the list.
Yeah, and it was so funny because it was put on during breakfast, if I remember, for my 7-year-old cousin at the time.
Yep.
And we're just all enraptured.
It was great. So
It
I'm
was
very
great.
excited for the second one.
Next announcement.
Yep.
We got a trailer. Snow White coming March 21st, 2025.
So there's so
The
many
silence.
there's so many
breathing.
people.
Oh, Devin. Oh, we'll be seeing Moana 2.
There's so many
I hope
people.
So. Let me know when you go. I think Moana 2, didn't you say is that the first theater experience for Len? No. You guys watch Trolls World Tour. I want to go to Moana 2 with you guys though. Let me know.
Nate, you should watch Moana. It's fantastic.
It really is.
So a lot of people are like, they shouldn't be doing live action Disney movies. I'm actually on the team that I think they should, and I think there has been some good ones. I like Beauty and the Beast. I like Aladdin
Beauty
a
and the
lot.
Beast was fun.
I like
Aladdin wasn't well received, but I had a lot of fun.
I loved Aladdin. I thought it was great, and I enjoy watching the Mulan movie. I don't think it's particularly good, unfortunately, because I had high hopes for it.
I missed it. I've only seen bits of it when we had it.
I enjoy watching it, but it's not a good one. I like that story. I like Jimmy Wong, and I like all the acting in it. I just think they did that movie poorly. I did not see The Lion King, if we count that one, and all that stuff. So I haven't seen Little Mermaid yet because Bethany went and saw it without me, and so I haven't got to sit
You got
down
a
and
bad
watch
taste
it.
in
Yeah.
your mouth. Shay watched it without me, but I caught the back half of it, and I was like, wow, this looks amazing.
So
and I really enjoyed it,
I
what I saw.
I want to see more of them, but man, the Snow White is not one that gets me excited.
Not even.
I'm
a
on
little bit.
Disney's side in this fight, and I was like, this one is.
I'm
not
not on Disney's side on this of just the because we have a whole list of things in front of us.
Yes.
And if I mean, Moana is a sequel. It's tough when you start talking sequels because it's like they created something great with Moana.
Right.
You can make another one. Like it's your right to.
Yep, yep.
Right. But I don't think there's. We'll talk about a movie with The Rock in it about monster trucks later.
Yeah.
Everything else is either a sequel, a continuation, a spin-off, or something else. There actually isn't one original property in here. They did show light footage for
Pixar's.
a space.
The Pixar Win or Loses, but
Win or Lose, yeah.
Tiny,
yeah.
but
Okay,
it doesn't matter.
It's a TV show, Pixar
It's
TV
TV,
show,
yeah.
first ever. Garfield, Trolls World 2. Is that wow? She's a movie pro.
animated only so
Yeah,
far.
well, Moana's animated, so it'll be perfect.
It is. Until the live action comes out. Let's go.
That's true. That is also happening.
I'm all about it.
There's like a space one, like a sci-fi themed one that had like a clip that didn't officially air. It was leaked, I think.
Okay.
I want to say Aereo, like ERIO.
Elio?
Elio.
Animated. In my head, I was thinking live action.
Animated, yeah.
Yes.
So that's the sci-fi one.
Yeah, yeah.
But as we go through, it's just like, man, I saw the Snow White one, and I'm like, I don't want anyone on here to get any hate for this movie, like the actors and the whatever. But I just really did not. I don't know. The Lion King isn't doing it for me. The Mufasa trailer, as we talk about, it's going to come up. I really hated that.
Everybody has been saying it. It's not just me, but it seems so simple, Disney. You have Atlantis Lost Empire. You have Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
They're so easy live action movies that would sell so well.
I also think that there's something like, because everyone's playing on everyone's nostalgia. Every company is playing on everyone's nostalgia, right? But it seems to be there's a special connection for people, and it seems to hit the zeitgeist different when there's one of those things of like, oh, do you remember that? Oh, yeah, I do. Like, it's not The Lion King. No one's like, do you remember The Lion King?
Everyone remembers Lion
Everyone.
King. Yeah.
But if I were to say, do you remember The Great Mouse Detective? Someone would be like, oh, yeah, there is a Sherlock Holmes mouse movie. Like, that's a weird thing. Or like an American Tale or A Secret of Nim or something.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones I'd be more
Troll
comfy
in
with.
Central Park.
Troll in Central Park. These
Yep.
would be ones I would say, like, these are more live actionable because I think they would. More people would be like, I don't remember that one as well. Let me get Disney Plus to watch the animated ones because it's not burned into my retinas.
Right.
And I can, then go from there. But that's the Black Cauldron, Sword in the Stone. Like, I think those would be great ones too. But they're just like, how about we remake the most obvious movies possible?
Which I get from an idea of like, how do we get the most audience in the seats? Let's make something everybody knows. But it's like, yeah, but they already like the old one. And I'm not saying no one likes Atlantis. Atlantis Lost Empire is one of the best. Treasure Planet's one of the best. Black Cauldron. All these are really good. Everyone already likes them. But like, why not give something to somebody that maybe hasn't been on repeat since their childhood?
I think, give more light to the thing that doesn't have it shining on it all the time. Like in the lineup of Disney movies, Lion King is always going to be a highlight for everyone.
Always.
That's one where people might have tossed away some of the other movies and kept their clamshell of Lion King for whatever reason,
I think I have my 1, 1.5, and 2 in clamshell still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Exactly, because it's the Lion King.
Yep.
So when I see Snow White, when I see Lilo and Stitch, that one's a little better, I guess. But I don't know. It still feels weird to make live-action remakes of movies that I can just remember coming out.
Lilo and Stitch, I think, is cool because one, it actually has people, and they're like the like it's an actual person movie, and it's like fantasy entering the real world. I think it's also interesting because that movie had a lot of problems trying to release because it was coming out right after 9/11, and they had to change entire sequences at the last minute and stuff. So there was like a lot of that stuff that like halted production and stuff, and it's like a great story of a movie that they didn't know if it was going to happen, and it actually happened, and it was great. So I like that. I like that it's getting more attachment. So there's a theme park ride that they had was, I think it was Alien Attack. It was an alien ride first. And I never got to go to the alien one. And then they
Alien.
Alien.
Xenomorph Alien.
Yeah, Xenomorph.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was essentially you went in, you saw in a tank a Xenomorph, and then it breaks out, and like the ride is you getting like
Chased or whatever.
not chased because you're in a chair, but you get like sprayed with acid, and you can hear whipping of things, and it's like stuff moves around you like you're getting attacked. People thought it was too scary. So they rebranded it to Lilo and Stitch gets out and runs around and kind of messes with the audience and stuff like that. I did the Stitch one, and there's a moment in that it will live forever in my head because there's a moment where Stitch burps, and it is the grossest smelling thing I've ever smelled in my life. I can't believe that ride didn't get more people sick. It was
You're like, oh, this is vomit worthy.
incredible. Devin says, I was disappointed when the live action Lion King came out and kept the original script word for word and made it boring in the theater, I thought. Oh, I know that one. I love that alien version. I was actually disappointed after it went to Stitch. I didn't get to do the
I'm Florida
alien
boy,
one.
by the way. He says he is from Florida.
But the Stitch one I did do. I think they're done with it altogether.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty wasn't word for word.
Sleeping Beauty. They did do Sleeping Beauty. No.
Well,
Did
they. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
I was going through in my mind
Sleeping
earlier. I was like Sleeping. Yeah, whatever. But Beauty and the Beast wasn't word for word.
It was not. They had new
and
songs.
new songs and all this
Yep.
stuff. But then, if Lion King, which I never did see, but if it is like word for word, it's like, what are we doing?
That's crazy.
Why are we making this movie again?
Yeah. I know. Hey, Cole, what's up? I know.
Congrats on the new job, Cole.
The Beauty and the Beast. Aladdin wasn't word for word. Also had new songs and stuff. Like, there's definitely not everyone has them in word for word. Mulan definitely wasn't word for word. But it's.
I know we're all very confused about what the Mufasa the Lion King is also going to be, but we got to get going through these movies. It's 7:15.
Yep.
Lilo and Stitch live action coming summer
I'm
2025. They did announce Incredibles 3 is happening.
That's cool. I did not see the second one, even though I begged to get a second one. I just have still yet to watch it.
Yeah. I guess I can't remember too much, but when I watched it, I forgot that the whole movie is set in like the 60s. That it's got like a mid-century modern feel, and Shay and I loved that. We're like, wow, look at the decorations in this house. But we enjoyed that movie a lot. So I'm happy to get a third one. We're getting a Toy Story 5, summer 2026.
Yeah. That is.
I didn't see 4.
I did not see 4 with Forky or whatever, but 5 essentially all it is like, hey, we're making it, and it's toys against kids in the iPad generation, toys against technology,
Toys against tech.
cool.
Frozen 3.
That's
coming out
exciting.
2027.
Those movies are always good. They're just well made.
I actually haven't seen one. I've seen so many pieces of all of them that I feel like I know what's going on, and I've never disliked what I've seen.
Yeah,
So
let's get more.
no notes. I am excited for this next one, Zootopia 2, coming November 26th, 2025. Did you watch the first Zootopia? I really enjoyed that movie.
Yes, that's the cop
Popsicle.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
And
okay.
Officer Hobbs.
Just making sure. There's a Frozen 2. Yeah, cool. There's a Frozen 2. It's fantastic. It's got one of the best songs out of all the Frozen movies. I love the one, the Into the Wood. No, that one's good. But the one that Sven
Out of the
sings.
Woods? No.
I'm blanking on it, but it's really good. It's like a boy band, like
Out
feel.
of the woods, of the woods.
Lost in the Woods.
That's
Thanks,
what it is.
Bethany.
Thanks, Bethany.
Cause yeah,
God,
that one's really good.
I only know it because it was on our fucking playlist in
was
this
so
store.
good.
It's just like, why is this here? Have we even seen? Oh, there's Hokey coming in Lost in the Woods. Look at everybody's like,
Thank
God,
you.
guys
Thank
are
you.
idiots.
Sorry,
You're the
sorry.
one who likes the song. I'm the
I
one.
know. I
can
blanked
fail.
on it.
I can fail.
Well, because
at
I
it.
said Into the Woods, and I went, nope, that's that other musical.
I
And
said
then got-
Out of the
and then
Woods, which is Taylor Swift.
And then I got stuck into that musical because there's the one that the Agony song is really good in that one.
Haven't seen it. Don't talk musicals to me. dude.
Zootopia was, I think, a guy. I didn't take to Zootopia. So Zootopia is cool, is great because a lot of people. It's so good, Devin. It's so good. I'm glad more people are getting Zootopia. It's not for me, but I'm glad there's people out there that really like that. I thought it was interesting.
That same feeling of that's not for me. I'm glad someone's getting it. Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew, December 3rd, 2024.
I was more excited for this because it looks like
This is kids' adventure.
kid's adventure. Give me Goonies. It's Spielberg. It's J.J. Abrams, but it's in Star Wars. Now, I don't give a shit about Star Wars, and which is good because I don't really care to know where this falls.
Well, you know, it's funny. I had the
Is
knee.
Jude
I had the
Law
knee jerk
important? I don't know.
of this is too much for kids, and then I was like, wait, I'm saying that as someone who knows Star Wars is for kids.
Yeah.
Like this is a child story. This is not. it's always been treated like it's something deeper, and it just isn't.
It's a kids movie.
It's because you watched it as a kid. We all watched it as a kid, and then we grew up and we're like, I'm an adult, and I still like it. It's an adult thing.
I had
Not
that,
true.
I had that recently with One Piece when I was like, because no bad guys ever die in that show. And I'm like, give me a death of a bad guy. They give me the worst characters and they never kill them. And I was reading, it's like, why? And they're like, well, it's a show made for kids. They don't want the main characters killing people. And I went, fucking One Piece is, of course One Piece is made for kids. I just was like, duh. But I didn't get that. Like, it was so funny.
James, sacrilege. Hey, we're going through a whole bunch of movies that are made for kids. I mean, we just talked about Atlantis, Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
These are all made for kids. Like, they're available to kids. It's not that they're bad because they're for kids.
No.
You
It's
just said
for.
Goonies and other things
Yeah.
too. These movies are classics and amazing, but they're for kids. So I had the knee jerk for Star Wars. Why is this for kids? And I was like, oh wait, it's always been for kids.
Always been.
It's a little bit more 70s for kids. Like, so now, people now would be like, well, maybe Slave Leia is not for kids, but
Fictionalized Vietnam is for kids.
it is. What do you know? Have you seen Watership Down, Secrets in Him?
Yeah.
Any of those things are like, let's
Return
talk
to Oz.
Let's
That
talk
one was
about the
a creepy one.
Holocaust
Ooh,
for kids.
Little Monsters, where the kid's face falls off. Fucking crazy, dude.
A lot of crazy stuff out there for kids.
Yeah. I'm excited about Daredevil. I said
Yeah,
that
the next
last
you're jumping
just
ahead.
so excited.
The next one, Daredevil, Born Again, and Fantastic Four. We've known they were coming. There's still not a date, but they do. Well, actually, Fantastic Four has a date, but that was
Yeah,
announced
it's-
before. But all the same, they got some footage. It wasn't officially released. If you watch any of it, it's like a leak online. I haven't seen it because I'm not on that side of the internet. I'm no
sure-
longer getting like unsolicited things from people I don't follow unless I'm scrolling through TikTok.
Right. I'm
But-
sure I'll end up seeing a little bit of it, but they're going to release it. I'm already going to watch both of them. I don't need to see it right now, even though I would love to see the Daredevil footage because I'm really excited for Daredevil to come back. I love Daredevil, period.
And speaking of Cole,
Yeah.
Punisher's coming back in.
Punisher's coming
We're
back.
getting John Bernthal Punisher again.
So that's exciting.
That was the only announcement tied to it, right?
I think so.
I mean, we're halfway,
Wow,
right?
yeah.
Because the next one, they named the third Avatar film. It is
Let's
called
go.
Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Yes.
The second one was
Way of Water.
was not a movie for me, but it was really cool to watch, and I'm like, no regrets, had a ton of fun. Yeah, Cole,
Yeah.
we're serious.
Yep.
Look that up.
You can look
Punisher's
it up.
coming. John
Punisher's coming
Bernthal's
back for
coming.
Daredevil.
It's happening. But anyway, it is funny though that I was like, oh, I think they were serious that we got air, we got water, we're getting fire.
Last one, or not last one, because I think there's 5 of them, but the next one will
There'll be Earth. Well, then the fifth one's going to be the fifth element. The fifth one is all about love. It has to be.
I enjoyed the second one since I've watched it at home and it doesn't have that changing frame
The
rate. and
40, the 60 frames, right?
the
video
whatever
game
it
feel.
does in the theater that I did not like watching.
I didn't like it, but it was cool. It's like going to see. We never got it, right? We never got to watch it, but it's like The Hobbit in 48 frames.
Yes.
It's just like
But
why not?
but I
you know,
would-
like I'll try something.
But I wish I had known going into I wish I could have seen Avatar, seen it just normal, and then been like, cool, let me go see the other version now so I can see the
Ooh,
difference.
no, me neither. I'm a one and done on that movie. I've only seen the first Avatar once. I've only seen this one once, and I'm good.
I've seen the first one a lot, and I also have like the big thick version, that the behind the scenes. I'm not even that big of a fan. I just like the technology behind that movie.
Technology's
so
cool.
impressive.
Yeah,
So a lot of the
it's
behind
cool
the
for
scenes,
a lot of those
of that stuff.
The filmmaking. of
Second one, I think me and Bethany watched it a few times since we saw it in
a
theaters.
few times. Damn,
Yeah.
Where are you guys finding this time? I hear that you've got no time ever, but you're watching a 3-hour Avatar a dozen times. That's
Well,
crazy.
you fit all these movies, you run out of time for anything else.
Yeah, well, it's
But
also
Avatar
because you're
3
like, I watched that movie. I put it on, fell asleep.
Well, sometimes. I mean,
I've watched
I don't count
the
those
intro
watches.
15 minutes 1,000 times.
Oh yeah, definitely for a couple of movies. But Avatar 3, I'm
Anyway,
excited. Fire and Ash, let's go.
Avatar. The next one, we're getting another Freaky Friday
Who
called
asked for this?
Freakier.
Who's out there?
Freakier Friday.
Come on.
Dude, again, I mean, that's like this whole list is just
No,
like,
because
it's just sure.
We'll get to the next one. And
Yeah,
that's me.
yeah.
But-
Well, there's a lot of other people asking who wanted this.
well,
Anyway, Freaky Friday. It is Jamie Lee and Lindsay Lohan coming back. So
Cool.
It's everybody that I know of
Oh
from that
no,
movie.
not again. I'm just waiting because like the big thing from that movie, I remember I look like the Crypt Keeper. That's Jamie Lee's line. I was like, what is this? It's like, no,
Who knows
not
the
again. Like something like that's gonna happen.
I wanted this.
Okay,
I didn't
there
see
it is for you.
You know, I leave it to these film companies. I don't know what I want until they tell me what I want.
Okay,
And I can't say I want this one, but what am I going to do? Not watch it?
What are you
know
gonna
I
do?
mean?
Not watch
That's
it. That's
actually
the line.
that's entirely possible.
Yeah,
but
I won't watch it.
because if this comes right to streaming, I don't have Disney Plus, so
yeah. Well, I can talk to somebody for you.
I mean, I think Devin and Cody do. I think I could get theirs, but
That's true.
what are you gonna do? The next one, the third Tron film, Tron Ares. Any particular news about this you're happy about, Brent?
So if anyone's not familiar, the Tron movies are fantastic. You should watch them. The second one, Tron Legacy, came out.
Would
and
you say the first one is fantastic?
I love the first one.
Oh,
I mean,
I didn't. You just never talk about it
it's
because
from
you
a-
love the second one.
It's
so
from
much.
a time though that is very hard to rewatch that movie because it's like so slow and it's just different. But
Hey,
I
Alchemist.
remember growing up with like watching it and being like, "Whoa, it's so like different and weird, and it's computers and blah." Whatever.
Anyway,
The second one I adore, and the whole movie is scored by Daft Punk. It's like a giant Daft Punk music video with a Tron story to it.
which is really great.
Which is amazing. So for this next one, Tron Ares, it's been announced that they're doing the same thing, except for instead of Daft Punk, this time it's going to be 9 Inch Nails, which is so awesome because if you don't know, you haven't missed One Piece, Alchemist, we'll get
there.
If you don't know, 9 Inch Nails is essentially just Trent Reznor. And Trent Reznor has done scores for movies and fucking knocked it out of the park. He did Social Network. He did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He works a lot with David Fincher. He's done other ones and stuff. But he's amazing. I don't know if this is doing 9 Inch Nails because it's going to have 9 Inch Nails songs. Probably not. What it probably is it's easier for us to sell.
It didn't have Daft Punk songs.
Right. It's probably easier to sell 9 Inch Nails songs. Like, hey, 9 Inch Nails is doing this. If they go, hey, Trent Reznor is doing this, you go, who? A lot of people would go, who? But if you put 9 Inch Nails, that's a recognizable name. So I think it's mostly Reznor going to be scoring it. Maybe with more of like, I'm going to have the mindset of my 9 Inch Nails brain, less of my movie brain. Maybe. But it's going to be great. And I'm so excited. I'm a little worried for what the leaks of the story of this movie is going to be, but I'm going to definitely watch
They've
it.
got Disney Boy doing it. The guy who did Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, the Javier Bardem one. And then Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. These are 2 movies he's directed that I can recognize. So more Disney for this boy.
Who did the Legacy? Who directed that?
Who did Tron Legacy? Let's see.
Just real quick.
Tron Legacy was brought to you by Joseph Kosinski. Joseph Kosinski,
Old Joey.
known for Top Gun Maverick, Oblivion. I'm looking for anything else. That's it, actually. He only had his first movie was Tron Legacy.
Knocked it out of the park.
That's a crazy first movie.
Dang.
He also did the Taco Bell commercial, Web of Fries.
Interesting. Man, I need to watch Tron
And
Legacy.
he did
scenes.
Spiderhead,
So good.
which was more of a middling movie, but still.
All right. Like I said, we got a lot to get through, so I can't gush over Tron too much. Cole, I think Oblivion is underrated. To be fair, though, I watched and I went, meh. But then I didn't watch it again, but the more I thought about it, I was like, I did really like that movie. So I think it's something you have to like, if you don't think about it, it can be really just kind of passed over. But if you sit and think with that movie, I think it is better than a lot of people give it credit for.
Don't think about it. Heard.
Well, no, you do think about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, whatever.
The next one.
Next one.
The Rock will be in another movie for Disney
Let's go.
called Monster Jam. And I
Sure.
put in parentheses, yes, like the monster trucks.
Yep.
So there will be a Dwayne The Rock Johnson monster truck movie.
Do you remember that monster truck movie that got made that was
No.
an idea from like a kid? Like the director's 5-year-old kid came up with the idea. It had like an octopus monster inside the truck. It was just called Monster Truck.
No. That's
No
kind
one
of
does.
that's a fun idea though.
Yeah, I think it was literally like the kid's like, what if a monster truck actually had a monster in it? And his dad was like a producer or something. He's like, yeah, we can make that.
That's a good idea, son. This is
And
what the kids want to
They
see.
made it, and I don't think anyone really watched it, but it was there. Is it going to actually have like branded like Gravedigger or?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay,
That'd be cool.
interesting.
So you see Goldberg come through.
Yeah.
Next, there will be the first ever Pixar TV show called Win or Lose.
Looks
Story about a sports team called the Pickles, which I
Yeah.
thought was really cute. Just
Looks-
the name, the Pickles. About them leading up to their final kind of championship sort of game.
Little League
Little League
what it is
baseball.
to maybe like a lot of different animation styles being thrown around, like super effects of people throwing balls. So maybe like what it's like to play Little League in the mind of a child. You know,
It's funny because it looks like the story of it is all about the coming to terms with losing.
Yeah, Bad News Bears.
Because it's the whole trailer we saw, it starts off with a joke about how it's like all of you did well, but one of you did, and he's like thinking maybe better. You guys all did good.
Yeah. Well,
But it's like, okay, so one of them's going to get a trophy, and it's the reason that none of the other ones do. I'm like, is this that kind of thing?
I thought
So
it
I'm
was
just
because
wondering.
it was like they needed to.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did just get back from the movies, Cole. We just saw Borderlands.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, Stokes?
I need a lawyer present to speak proper on that movie. I will be waiting for a apology letter in the mail. No, it wasn't that
I
bad.
think you're still waiting for your letter for your big Borderlands 3 box. So.
Dude, that thing almost paid me back in full when I sold it to GT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect then.
I sold it with a bunch of sports games, got 500 cash.
Dang.
And I was like, whoa, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. To me, it's like I thought that was an idea of like, well, as a coach now, you can't say, hey, this kid did well, better than you. I thought it was like, hey, your team did good, y'all did great, but someone did well, not really. You know what I mean? I thought it was like one of those things where it's like, you can't pick favorites.
Well,
I thought
but it
was
is
like a
called
statement.
win or lose.
That's true.
So that's the only reason I'm extrapolating. I'm pulling hard on these things, but it's cool that Pixar's doing a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm always confused because when you tell me Moana isn't Pixar, I'm like, how does that?
Well, it's
make
Disney
sense?
animation, dude.
Disney animation, Pixar, not the same.
Not the same.
Not the same. But Pixar did Cars too, so I don't know where they're drawing their lines.
Yeah, because Cars is Pixar.
Sure,
Okay.
but it's the good movies and the bad movies. I'm like, I don't know which is which. Raya and the Last Dragon, Disney animation.
Yeah. That's not Pixar.
Right.
Don't be crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, you want to know my secret for how I know this?
How?
Is it in Lorcana or not?
That's fair. Hey, as a way to do it.
That's
Right?
the only
I'm
way
trying
I
to
got.
think. They haven't done any Pixar, right?
There could be some.
I
A
think it's
set
the
came
newest
out
set.
this
Yeah,
week.
that's
If
true.
you didn't know that,
That's true.
I think. Well, I guess it's last week.
I was
now,
trying to think
but
of Toy Story. I guess not.
Not in there.
Okay. Yeah.
We continue.
Yep.
We're getting a live action Lion King movie again.
Prequel.
Prequel. Mufasa the Lion King. Hi, Jess.
I hope the audio's not skipping every now and again. Fingers crossed, not. Just you. Okay. Whew.
Good.
I mean, I'm sorry for you, Jess, but I'm glad it's not on my
Yeah,
end.
take that.
So what's interesting about this movie, there's a lot of things we could say about it, whatever. I think it's funny that the bad guy in this trailer seems to be a white lion, and there's the whole thing that Lion King was just stolen from a Japanese animated film called Kimba the White Lion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, it's just weird that you made the bad guy
but
the white
are
lion.
they both Hamlet?
No, Kimba's essentially much closer to the just Lion King story than Hamlet is. Like Hamlet has got a lot of ties, but it's like Kimba's like almost like not a one for one, but it's like pretty crazy.
I'll leave that there.
But anyway, Kimba, yeah. I thought it was interesting because the white lion's the bad guy. I was like, that's strange. But anyway,
Nate studied Japanese and lived in Japan for a while.
so he knows.
He would
Back
know.
me up, Nate.
He just did.
Well, I'm
He
just
backed you
saying.
up already. Anyway,
This trailer does nothing for me except for
absolutely not.
for some reason somehow Scar seems like a good guy and somehow he turns. I don't know.
We're gonna just leave it right where it's
there.
at. Boop. Ironheart is going to be a TV show coming sometime 2025. Ironheart, of course, was Riri Williams, introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yep.
She will have her own TV show.
We all remember Wakanda Forever.
I mean, we do, don't we? Didn't you
We
like
do.
that movie?
I know.
Oh, I thought you did.
I-
I know you like Namor, right?
I liked Namor. I thought the movie was.
I didn't
not
like
very
his
good.
motivations, but I liked his like character design.
Yeah,
And that they
was,
went with
like,
somebody like his
visually-
stature and everything. I was like, oh, and the way he danced with the wings on the, I was like, you look
Visually,
great.
how he handled them and stuff was good. His motivations were a little weird, and I thought the whole movie as a whole didn't know what it was trying to do.
No, it was weird.
But it's
It
not
was a weird one.
the movie's fault, really.
They were put in a tough.
They were
bind
put
there.
in a tough spot.
And I have no suggested change, which is always tough when I'm like, this movie didn't do great, but I can't think of a fix. You know what I mean? I'm like, so is it the best that could have been done? I don't know.
I think the fix would have been just to bite the bullet and recast. But I don't think
because
that
now
was-
the character's gone forever.
That's the thing is, but I don't even know if that's the right choice.
They
I think that's the
did set up a
fix.
potential here. We're going to move forward.
Yes.
And then we can cast an adult.
I just
soon,
I just
so-
wish that Namor wasn't used in there because I think Namor could have been really useful.
Yeah, well,
in
he
other
doesn't
spots.
die, so, I
no,
mean-
but it's like
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know if we get him back.
We don't need to talk about MCU because we're back to Star Wars, baby. There is a Mandalorian movie coming out May 22nd, 2026 called The Mandalorian and Grogu.
that's cool.
Oh, man. It's like they're spinning like 3 different wheels to just like RNG things together.
Yep.
And they're just like Mandalorian TV show. It already hit, so they just spun the TV show wheel and it turned into a movie. And here we are. Okay, Mando movie. We're going to get an Andor movie. We're going to get, I don't know.
I've not seen.
Are you not entertained? Do you need more?
I've seen actually I lied. I've seen about 15 seconds of The Mandalorian because I watched a
Okay.
visual breakdown of face reconstructions for characters in that movie and stuff.
Oh,
That's it.
in that show, like the final
Luke,
season
yeah.
of the Luke. Yeah, okay. I watched, I think, 4 episodes, but I was watching it as they aired when it first came out because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Ooh, Disney Plus is new. These shows are new. Everyone's liking Mandalorian. I'll watch it." And I dropped off pretty hard. So it's, although I can agree, The Mandalorian I think is a good show. I just don't like Star Wars.
We're just not Star Wars people.
So it's like long form Star Wars. Never.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Which gets us into the next one.
The next one, Andor season 2, coming out 2025. I've heard all thumbs for Andor.
Good for anybody that's
I've heard-
excited
but
for
this is one that I
Star
heard
Wars stuff.
people like. So this isn't what's Ahsoka.
Yeah. No, people didn't like that one.
I heard people because it introduced like the multiverse, and people were like, "What are we doing? Like, not here." Not
I heard
like this.
people didn't like. Did not really like Obi-Wan. Disappointed in Obi-Wan. And what was the one that's right now that rewrote not midichlorians, but rewrote the birth of
Oh, I don't know.
the one that's like right now. It's like it starts with an R. I don't know. Ooh.
I couldn't tell you.
I really enjoy good world building and setup. So slow burns, I'm pretty tolerant of stuff like that. Which one's Andor again? Cole? I could not tell you. I'm sorry. It's the one with Star Wars in it.
Because we know a lot. We know a lot of people who claim to like Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. I bet you
Claim to
only.
like Star Wars.
Well, I say that only because I bet you James is the only person I know that's ever seen Andor.
All right.
I like
James, if you're still in
Cody.
chat,
You're
let's
here,
hit me
dude.
up.
You tell me. Have you seen Andor?
Who has seen Andor in the chat?
Have you seen what are the other ones they got? Ahsoka. Have you seen
Ahsoka,
Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan. God, I can't remember. Oh, it's the Acolyte.
Oh, the Acolyte.
The Acolyte. I know people didn't like that one. So
We'll leave that to answer. Finally, I understand why they threw it at the end. Percy Jackson season 2 coming 2025.
that got pinned. Star Wars sucks, so I haven't seen any of them. There you are, Cole. Coming with the fire.
I like to say Star Wars isn't for me. But anyway,
Cole doesn't hold back.
I know.
Fires rush straight from the hip, dude.
Blah.
Straight shooter. I'm getting away from the mic. I'm excited Percy Jackson's getting season 2. I have not watched the first one, but what's excited? Oh, James skipped Andor. No one's seen Andor.
No, and I hear it's one of the better shows.
No one's watched
Mandalorian, I think everyone agrees is the best. Then Andor, then everything else is just like grouped into who cares. Dang.
So anyway, Percy Jackson. I haven't watched the first season. I plan to. I'm excited it's getting a second season, mostly because this needs to succeed and do well, because that's going to get me the Inheritance Cycle show on Disney Plus. If Percy Jackson fails, that Inheritance show that they're working on right now probably also gets pushed to the side and does not happen. Recently, Christopher Paolini, the author of the Inheritance Cycle, recently came out and said that they did some major movement on it recently.
Oh, good.
Still no announcement, still nothing. But
Major movement is often behind
exciting.
the scenes, yeah.
So I'm hoping that happens because I would love to have a true interpretation of that series. So how can a fan base be so loyal to such a mid property? Sorry, that was uncalled for.
Also, it's funny because I'm arguing the opposite. I'm saying that this is to me a mid property, and I don't know anyone loyal to it, despite them saying they're fans.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Secret Invasion.
Yeah, we did.
Because that's right. I mean, we did. To be fair, I wouldn't say you're as into Marvel as I am. Like the TV shows you've missed and stuff. But
Yeah.
unless there's a
I have
second,
my lanes.
unless there's a second season of What If out, which I would say is untied and unrelated, I have seen everything that Marvel has made.
You didn't finish Loki season 2, dude.
That's true. I
fired, bro.
did start that and like it, but
Okay, that's fair.
and I'm like halfway.
I mean, you're in. That counts.
I'm really close.
Yeah, you watched episodes.
True. And to be 4 episodes away from something is different than like I skipped that show.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I definitely have those shows. Like, I skipped that show.
Yeah. I mean, there are things I forget. Like I don't remember everything. I'm not that kind of fanboy, but I'm just like as I tell Brent, what am I going to do? Not watch it? Like it's a Marvel thing that came out.
Secret Invasion. Oof. Definitely oofed.
Yeah, that happened. But we got Werewolf by Night too. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yep.
That was all I had for news because it was just a shitload of announcements.
A lot of D23
coming
stuff.
out this week. I've got my tickets. You're not going to be able to make it. Why is that? I don't think you ever told me.
Bethany can't make it to a 7 o'clock show, and our theater does not have anything after 7 o'clock because it's awful.
Trust me, I know. Because
So,
I would have tried to. There would have been some communication.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Just get a 9 o'clock show. It doesn't have to be like we're going to lock the doors at 10:15.
If it's a 2-hour movie, 30 minutes of ads, whatever. If they prioritize 7, you're going to have to wait till 10 to start the next one, right?
Sure. But like
I'm just saying that's like because we're in an
10,
IMAX. We're talking IMAX here.
Well, even if there is a 10, it's like when I worked at a theater, there would be the show that essentially this show's time starts. 10 minutes after that, the doors are locked, and then we're just waiting for movies to end.
Oh,
but
sure.
this is like
Yeah.
the doors. I don't know when the doors get locked. Is it like 8 o'clock at this theater? It's crazy.
They don't seem to lock. I recently finished a movie that I started about 8, so I guess probably 10. And I went out, chatted with people for about 40 minutes because that's what I do, and then I had to pee, and I went and tried, and I just walked right back in.
It's crazy.
And
dude.
I didn't see a single person. There was nobody around. Isn't there a Marvel show similar to Love, Death, and Robots, like where every episode is a different story with different animation style? Not the animation style, but What If is that?
Yeah. What If's is different stories.
It itself is a unique animation style, close to like a Tales from the whatever, like a Tales game. But it is the What If of it is like there's a zombies episode. There's a What If T'Challa was Star-Lord episode. There's all of those. Somebody's murdering the Avengers episode.
Which I didn't see here, but I think they announced that Marvel Zombies is getting its own show.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think it's going to be a mature show, and it's like 6 episodes or something. I'm not 100% on that confirmation, but I saw something about it. So,
Cole, What If is interesting. I couldn't get through the animation myself. I mean, I watched it all, but it was pretty reluctant. Actually.
I watched, I think most of it, if not all of it. There were certain ones I really liked, and certain ones I was like, I did not need to watch it.
It's the same thing with anthologies you brought up earlier. It's like it's tough when you have so many different creators. I imagine directors, writers, all touching the same project. It can be tough to like it wholly. But anyway, releasing this week, back to it. Alien Romulus.
I'm going to try to go Saturday.
We got the tickets. Well, okay, so we'll hopefully have a conversation about it Tuesday. And then also I saw Rick and Morty the anime is coming out, and I looked it up, and it is just Rick and Morty. Not like it doesn't seem like it's the same episodes, but it's all the characters are drawn in an anime style.
Oh, okay.
And it is its own separate TV show.
Interesting.
So it's premiering on Adult Swim. It's going to go episode by episode. Next day, it'll be on HBO Max. So it'll be available. I thought that was something that if anyone's really a big Rick and Morty fan, that would be something to be, notified of. I'll probably throw an episode on. I mean, I don't have Max, but it's something I've seen the rest of Rick and Morty, so might as well.
I've dipped in and out of Rick and Morty, so I don't know where I'm at with it, what I've seen, haven't seen, but this sounds interesting. I like anime, so.
And I'm excited enough about this next story, but I'm going to go potty while you introduce it and talk about it, do whatever you need.
Yeah, that sounds very weird. I'm 100% in. Sounds good, Bethany. It sounds like we're watching it. Welcome back. Now we're getting into a bit of anime news. Gotta make sure I got the right click. Here we go. So One Piece, as you saw in the description, we got One Piece news. Essentially, if you don't know, One Piece is a really, really long anime. There's a lot of filler / episodes that may have been able to be squished together.
Give me an episode count on it.
Right now it's 1,162. That's a
I was looking for an answer. You gave me a question.
It's
wow, it sits at a 9.0.
It's like 1,100 and something.
Looks like 11/28, but that includes episodes listed not yet premiered.
Oh, 1062 was, I think, a big episode. That's why I had 62 in my mind. But yeah,
Yeah, 1062 it says is the top rated episode.
that's why I was like 62 I had in my head, but that makes sense.
It says also season 1, episode 1062.
I watched it from episode 1 to Watch No Kuni arc end, but
Wano Kuni, it looks like.
oh god, oh there's the. I was like, what? No, that says watch. Okay, gotcha. I am currently around episode 590, I think. So I'm watching through it anyway. One Piece is a really long anime. It's really hard to get people into it because one, there's so many episodes to watch, over 1,000 episodes. But it's really good, and it's got the live action coming out, so a lot of more people are interested. So what they decided to do is they're going to be remaking the anime alongside the current anime. The current anime is not going to end. You're still going to have it. Still going to keep going forward. But what they're doing is they're going backwards, starting from the beginning. The East Blue Saga is what they're starting with. They're going to change up the animation style a little bit. They're going to make sure it's all concise and like really essentially what they did was right now they do like, I would say each episode maybe one manga. Sometimes it's a one manga split up into 2 episodes just to stretch it out so they don't get ahead of the manga. This will be like, hey, we're going to take 3 or 4 issues of the manga and put it in one episode. It's going to be tighter, not as tight as probably the live action because that's like really cut down. But this will be something that will be able to get new fans in, and I think it's going to be interesting as someone that's 600 episodes in. I'm excited to go back and watch the old stuff and have something I can rewatch. Once I get through One Piece, I will never probably rewatch this anime again. It's just, it's impossible.
I like that you left the door cracked a bit by saying probably like that.
I will never watch from beginning to end.
I don't shame you off, and that might be one. If you were to round 2,
I will never
anime.
watch beginning to end. But if I go, oh, I kind of would like to watch this arc again, I might go back because there's arcs that I really do like. But I will just hop back in, watch this, probably 80 episodes an arc is or whatever, and be like, cool, and then dip out. But with this, I think it would
still
be
crazy to me.
I think it would be cool if this anime, I can just not just rewatch from the beginning, but if they do it like seasons, it looks like they're doing the East Blue Saga, and then they'll do the
Well,
next one,
you were
the next
talking
one.
about the manga per episode.
Yes.
What is that going to be for the new one?
They don't have like a number, but they're trying to do multiple issues in a single episode is what they said.
Okay.
So I'm assuming certain episodes, they got to go, hey, we can only fit 2 because these are such heavy mangas for like the Battle of the Best or anything that's got huge storylines like the Nice Lobby and all that stuff. But like for ones that are like, hey, this is them sailing, getting on to the next arc, they could probably do 4 manga things to get just into the next arc, so we don't have to wait so long to jump to the
Got
next
more
one.
photos you can jump through too.
Yes.
So this was all part of a video they did that was a little bit behind the scenes actually. Like it was like a studio tour or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they were just showing and flashing still images, so we don't even know how it moves.
We don't know how it moves. This is kind of
I see this and I'm
concept
almost
art.
like, is this concept? Because that is not concept. That is a drawing.
No.
That's like a complete.
This is
drawing.
these are probably frames.
Right, but some of them, like, it's kind of probably tough to tell across the stream and picture in picture in picture, right? But it has this really soft, sketchy kind of art style with
Almost
this,
like water paint.
I was just about to say with a watercolor
yeah.
finish on the coloring of it all, which I love. This
It
looks so good.
It looks so good.
Just aesthetically. I mean, I don't know where I would fall on watching this.
I haven't.
If you were to tell me that it's 300 episodes and you get the whole show, I'd say, okay, there's a chance. I might actually do it. But where it sits now, there's no world.
Yeah. So the big things too is the team behind it is really great. Wit Studios is the studio behind it. They grabbed the director from Attack on Titan, the assistant director, and I believe he's also in charge of action scenes. I mean, there's like a.
I looked through a lot
people
of
in
credits.
charge.
I didn't see that. There is like it was just a different name. From what I saw,
but the assistant director is from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. The assistant director has done directing for Jujutsu Kaisen. He wasn't just an AD on it as well, but
I know the series composer, not like they don't mean like music composer, but the person that like compiles how the season or the series is going to run and be concisely put together is from Haiku, which is my favorite. So a lot of really good names, and there's a ton of names. There's Spy X Family. There's a ton of people in this show, but it looks like it's being handled really well, handled with a lot of care. And I'm very excited because I think there's so many good moments in One Piece, but there's so much stuff that I can't tell anyone to watch One Piece because there's just there's been moments for me where I'm like, why are we still here, guys? What are we doing? There's so much good I know ahead of me. Let me get to that. So, but I'm excited to see what they do with this
to have
one.
everything truncated.
And
I mean, isn't it everyone's dream to have their anime redone, remastered without the filler? Just boom, boom, let's get to
Right.
it. Like, oh my God, who wouldn't want that for all of these different? I mean, I don't know anime well. Is Shippuden, is that a style of anime, right? That's like the.
No, that's just so there's Naruto, and then the next one's just.
I know. What
Naruto
do they
Shippuden.
call the like the weeklies, the like long forms, the.
Oh, shonen.
Shonen. That's the word I
Shonen,
was looking
yeah.
for. Like these shonens. Like, who doesn't want their shonen just.
Yeah. So, and what I'm excited for is right here in this image where we got Sanji. There looks to be a lot, like not a ton of gore. It's not like friggin' Chainsaw Man or something crazy. But,
The only one I've seen.
but
fully.
this one has a lot more blood than what I think the current anime has. So it's possible that they're going to have a little bit more gore, which I remember because I used to get the Shonen Jump sent to me. I remember reading it and feeling like there was more gore in the manga than there has been in the show. So maybe we'll see a little bit more of that, which is kind of exciting for anyone. Even though I earlier I talked about how One Piece is a kid's show, it does have gore and like tough moments in it. So
I mean, we talked about movies that have this, or kids' movies that have the same kind of thing. So I get it.
as long as Luffy gets the One Piece and Robin figures out world history, I'll be happy. You don't want Zoro to be the world's
best
greatest
swordsman?
swordsman. You don't want to find. I guess I haven't watched all of it. So the Deep Blue.
Like maybe he's already there.
Maybe they already did
Maybe
all that.
Sanji
Maybe they already
found
done
the
True Blue.
crossroads.
True Blue, Deep Blue,
I-
something blue, all blue. There's so many blues. I can't keep them any straight. There's the East Blue, West Blue, Deep. There's so many blues.
Sure.
All blue. Okay, yeah.
Always
Zoro's
blue.
already strong as hell. I'm
Always
happy
blue.
for him. Gotcha. There's a lot of my thing with One Piece is I was like, I get that there's 1,000 episodes. There's a lot of things you have to pay off to make because there's so many things set up that they throw the ball in the air and you're like, man, I really hope you're planning on catching that. And you look to the right and there's 7 more balls in the air and you go, you're going to catch all these balls by the end of the show? That's crazy. Okay. Cool. So far, things have come back already where I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
we
when you're
really
like,
did
wow,
this.
that was 400 episodes ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but I'm excited for this one. I think it looks really good. So that's hype.
There you have it. Our anime news.
And we're into the games.
Oh, that was a transition we had.
There we go.
It's just good news for you all day, dude. Because the next game news is also all for you.
Let's go.
Splitgate 2 got a trailer. Did we talk about Splitgate 2 on this at all?
Yes. That's where I brought it up first time.
About
I brought
the app. I brought the okay. That was on here.
Yep.
Great. Well, it looks like it's paying off sooner rather than later. You know, if you go to their FAQ on their website, when is the game releasing? 2025. The next FAQ, when in 2025? And their answer is 2025 has 12 months. It will be one of those months. I'm like, you snarky bitches. What are you
Love
doing? That's terrible. But the trailer is a gameplay trailer. It's extensive, I would say.
It looks really
It doesn't
good.
speak too much on the mechanics, like the absolute finite mechanics, but it talks a lot about the overarching function of the game, how there are classes and roles more so than classes. Maybe there's only, there's 3.
They don't call it classes, right? They called it
Factions.
Factions.
Each
That's
faction has a name. I don't know if you're picking characters. Who knows? But we will be able to tomorrow, if you're watching this live, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, there will be a live stream that has, we'll say professional gamers. I don't know what you'd call them. They're streamers. They're people that are on esports teams, whatever, that are going to be playing this game live, and we just watch them play. Kind of a uncut sort of thing, an unedited, unhighlighted reel. Just see how the game truly functions. What does a menu look like? What do the characters look like when you pick? Like those kinds of things. Or what do you customize? Like,
Yep.
I don't know how they're going to highlight the app, if they're going to do it at all. Is it a 20-minute stream? Is it going to be for 6 hours? Are there drops? I don't know yet. But it is cool that we're getting something so soon. And the game looks like it's running really well.
looks super smooth.
I'm like, I have played games in alpha and beta that are shittier looking than this right now.
Specifically for a game that they go 2025 and you go when, they go, there's 12 months. It could be December. It could be over a year from now. And I look at that
If
gameplay,
they said
I go,
2025 because it's January 1st, baby, I'd be like, yeah, the game looks great. And we have so much more time in this month for where the game looks currently. But
Yeah.
obviously, they're probably not ready for like server stress tests and
Right. And
who
I could
knows?
see if they wanted to go instead of free to play release with 3
It is
maps,
free to play.
this, that. It is?
It is.
Fucking then
I read through the FAQ because I was like, I want to know more about this game because it looked so good.
That's what
the first split
man,
gate
so
and the
good.
second split gate, they're not the same.
No.
Like I don't know how there's a portal.
What did we call it? The first split gate was the not the proof of concept.
Proof of yeah,
That's
I
what
was
it
about to
feels
say.
like now.
Yeah.
And I
and
played
this
a ton
one,
of the
this
first
what
one.
we saw was a pretty large one, but it was like a vertical slice where I'm like, oh, what do you need to fix now? If
Yeah.
this is the game, like for a game that it doesn't have a campaign.
Nope.
It is just going to have maps and modes. I'm like, well, this map's done. Like,
Yeah.
it looks great. So
looks so
I'm excited to
good.
see it, but that'll be happening tomorrow. It has a trailer we recommend watching because the gameplay looks smooth, looks clean, and I'm excited to see that there are classes but they're soft. It's not Overwatch where your tank is a giant guy with a shield who doesn't really kill many people and
Yeah.
pushes the objective.
It's
a
pick
guy
the
who just puts a shield on the ground. It
Yeah.
dictates your
It's
abilities,
the
your
speed
class
faction,
items.
the defense faction, and the support faction, and then everyone still shoots and everyone still.
It's funny though
pulls.
that the time to kill on it seems pretty low, but there's still characters that heal. I'm like, is that necessary?
I mean, it's time to kill is low when you like Halo low, but it's not low like Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dead. Yeah, it was.
What I've always said is like Call of Duty, it's like you can outshoot somebody like fast. Halo, if you get shot, you can turn it into like a duel where it's like
Yeah,
I can bounce and outshoot and win.
Fix it. Yeah,
But 9 times out of 10, if I get shot first in Call of Duty, usually you're gonna lose just because they got the first bullet into you. If you're both like the same skill level, it's
Sure,
like,
sure,
This has got that. I've got a little bit of leeway where I can fight. Where if I'm in that leeway fighting, losing, and a heal comes in, I'm winning that fight now. So I could see how that could help a lot.
I don't know if it's going to replace something like an Overwatch for me, but we'll see. Tomorrow I will have more information.
I'm very excited about it.
On to other shooters. Fortnite. They announced the next Fortnite season, Chapter 5, Season 4, Absolute Doom. It looks like we're getting superpowers again. Looks like there's going to be you have Captain America's shield that can block and smash. You've got flying in the air. I don't know, all of the things. But that trailer is just to the brim in Marvel characters. And I'm like, who didn't go watch Deadpool that doesn't want to play this right now? Like that Venn diagram must be pretty close.
Well, you know, like Fortnite and Disney are now like locked, like because they did that whole like Disney like reveal and everything. So
well, that's what I'm saying. If they just announced that Doom is the next thing, that Doomsday's happening, and then they go, here's the next. They timed it so well. They've always been good with that. Like, here's the show, here's the character, here's the movie, here's the character. But yeah, they are very very tied together in this, and to have something so fast after the Doomsday, it's just a lot of hype.
Yep.
I don't know what the season we're in is, because I don't play this game much. I don't know what season we're in, what it's doing. I know you said you didn't like the car combat, but I know that with chapters, they seem to make monumental changes, like overarching map changes, and then the season's just a battle pass. It's the store. There's a power on the game on the board now. There's a web slinger.
Yeah,
There's a.
So me and the crew play a good amount of Fortnite, or played a good amount of Fortnite for like 2 seasons, right? Yeah, chapters on seasons. Yeah, 2 seasons when they did the OG again. You go back and play the old version. We played that, played the next one, and then this season currently they've got cars on the map, and we played the other night. We played like 3 or 4 matches, and by the end of it, we were all okay just stopping because we were just tired of cars flying in, and it was fun to begin with because it was like, oh, get in the car, do the thing. But that's not how we play Fortnite. That's not how I think Fortnite is really built to be played. It's not built to be a car shooter game. So
Well, I mean, it's like just looking from a game function, game development standpoint, what you're asking a party to do is literally offer the controls to one player.
yeah.
Everyone else sit there.
Drive and shoot. So 2 players get, and you can shoot out of the car.
I guess yeah,
but
these are new cars or new functional vehicles
Yeah,
in this, but you're essentially saying your player freedom is just withdrawn. Like you can't move the way you want, jump the way you want, do all that stuff because you're locked in a vehicle. It's just one thing to restrict when the game is meant to be a big sandbox.
Yeah. So it's really kind of, we plan to return to it once cars are gone, and we probably still will play every now and again with cars there because it's still fun, especially if you can get the game where everyone kind of ignores the cars, or you might run into one early, but it gets to late game and all the cars are not in the zone anymore, and we can have like an actual late game fun. But the last time we played it was very much like we'd kill a squad or 2 squads, and we'd run into 2 squads fighting with cars, and we would just get run over or booped, and it's just like, man, this is not why I wanted to play this game. And also now there's guns in the game to combat those cars, but then people will just combat you with those guns, and like it's like, oh shoot, you're not. It doesn't feel like Fortnite or what we enjoyed about Fortnite, so we've kind of taken a step back. So I'm excited if the new season will take that away so we can get back into it, because I would like to play more.
Yeah, I mean, they only showed a bit of gameplay, but it didn't have a date on there. I'm sure it's announced on their website somewhere.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was more just excited to see, like, oh, look, the partnership's still strong. This Doomsday thing was planned.
Yeah.
And they're pushing that kind of hype around it early.
I saw this next thing, but I didn't read about it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, well, what you did read in the news that you told me yesterday, I was aware of from Bloody Disgusting, was that there are 2 Halloween games in the works, which when you hear that, even just thinking one Halloween game, you're like, okay, well, it's going to be the Friday the 13th game. It's going to be a Dead by Daylight kind of function, or it's going to be, what's the other one that I mentioned? Killer Clowns from Outer Space, where it's you've got a killer, some killers, survivors, and you're trying to do something along those lines.
Predator Hunting Grounds.
Predator Hunting Grounds. Oh, wait, Death Garden.
Oh,
How about that? I'll shoot you right in the I'll shoot you right in the chest with it.
God, bring back Death Garden. Oh, you didn't even bring up. I guess that's not news. We just found out.
It's also not a. It's a maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
We won't bring that up.
No.
Anyway, one of the games was announced in a more official capacity with a trailer, with gameplay, and it's a side scroller, which is interesting because you're side scrolling as Michael Myers. It has a trailer, so you can go view this somewhere. And then you're throwing knives. You're like doing. It seems like a traditional side scroller in that way, but you're like killing thugs. And I was like, I mean, it has to be a thug because an innocent person wouldn't chase you and kill you.
That's true.
So I'm like, what? The theme of this seems funny, but with it, it's interesting because they announced 2 games at once. I don't know if it's a bundle. I don't know if what they're selling you is like SFX pinball, where it's 2 boards instead of actually just like one single thing. But they in-game engine, they have like 2 cabinets, 2 arcade cabinets that are these side scrollers. The other one is Ash versus Evil Dead. So I could see where they're selling you an arcade where there's these different characters, but the difference is these 2 games are the same.
Gotcha.
Which is why I likened it to pinball. It's like, well, it's still pinball, but the boards are different. The levels here will be different. The enemies are different, weapons, but otherwise it's just the same game.
Side scrolling,
or I'm wrong, and it's just 2 separate video games made by the same company. That's Retro Realms. So I don't know. There's that. But with that announcement, we also learned just a little bit about the other Halloween game, mostly that it's going to be a separate game and that it's being made in Unreal Engine 5, which, if you're unaware, Unreal Engine 5 is like the hyper-realism, the facial capture, the AI-generated animations. It's like the beautiful, the Fortnite engine is an Unreal Engine thing. So it's one of the easy tools to use. It's popular like Unity. It's mostly free unless you're a larger company. And yeah, node-based programming, and it's easier and entry level for most people, but it's like just gorgeous.
That's
volumetric God rays, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anything that's going to be in Unreal Engine 5, I'm sure you've seen the fan videos where somebody makes a Zelda game in Unreal Engine. You're like, holy shit, it could be like this.
It could look like this.
And then you hold the Switch and you're like, no, it's not possible. This would explode. Quote
fair.
30.
Oh man, bringing Old Testament down.
I'm bringing the Old Testament down only because I've been eyeballing and thinking about getting a Steam Deck, and the more I look at it, I look at my Switch and I go, "Fuck you! You could have been more." You know
what
I mean?
They're working on it. They're working on it.
It's not. They have the games and the properties, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, God, I played Link to the Past, right?
Yeah.
No, Link's Awakening.
No,
Link's Awakening
is what you played, yeah.
I played Link's Awakening. I'm playing it currently, and as it's like I switch, as the square moves, the camera moves, it gets like stuttery for me. I tried showing this to you, and I'm on the OLED, and I'm like, what is happening? This game can run on my phone better than it runs on the Switch. Granted, my phone is like $1,000 phone. It's an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, come on, guys. This is a Switch.
The Switch 2 is coming. It'll get all fixed. They'll figure it all out.
God, dude. The Switch 2, dude, it's... I don't know what kind of gimmicky propaganda they're going to try to push on me this time, dude.
Well, last little note on the Halloween game. I gotta see the note here.
Oh yeah, John Carpenter is intimately involved, and he says it's going to be something that's true to it, which is so funny because he seems like someone who doesn't care to engage with his old things at all. Like,
or even audience.
we love, well, that's what I was going to get. I mean, we love John Carpenter. Like, he made so many great things. He still makes good things. He does, like, he just had an album release like a year or two ago. It was like, oh, this is cool. You're still doing music. But you're kind of, you're resting on your laurels, which is fine. But he doesn't go to cons. He doesn't go to, like, he tries to completely distance himself from it. And it's really unique to see someone so separate from their stuff saying that they're going to be involved in a Halloween video game to make sure it's like done correctly. It's just like, which is it?
Especially
who are you? And do I believe you? What's unique about John Carpenter though, all he says is, I think he gets high, plays guitar, and plays video games, right? Like that's what he said.
I think it was watches basketball, eats popsicles, and plays video games. Is like that's what he wants to do. For
when
the
I
rest
hear
of his
those,
life.
if I had a John Carpenter popsicle, I would trust it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I have a John Carpenter video game, I like to think I'm going to trust it, especially when it's touching such a precious property. But
I think it's interesting though that Halloween's the one he's like, I'm going to come back for this because there's been so many Halloweens, so many different creators' Halloweens since then that it's like some people might not even think of, which would be crazy, think of Halloween as a John Carpenter thing anymore.
It's tough because how many people know John Carpenter at all? Yeah, the people that do probably know him for what he's known for, right? Like, there's the smaller properties that may or may not be him. He has some action, like Big Trouble in Little China, you know. But otherwise, you probably know him, right? I mean, now his movies for a while had John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah. Like his name was that front and center.
And I know there's a Thing video game that he helped with. That's like, like an actual like story-wise is like quote unquote a sequel to The Thing that he helped with.
Interesting.
So maybe this is kind of the same thing because he did 1 and 2 of Halloween, right?
Yep.
And that was it. I'm trying to remember because like.
He kind of got pressured with 2, right? Because Halloween was going to be the name of like a franchise thing.
Yeah, it was going to be what 3 ended up being, which is a story of Halloween but different.
Yeah, like Season of the Witch, you're saying?
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
Is that the new Halloween? What?
No, that's not.
Okay.
I thought he did this one too. No, Tommy Lee Wallace.
Yeah.
So,
but I think he did do 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But he didn't come back for a later one like Wes did for Nightmare, right?
Right.
Okay. That's what I thought. Just making sure. So that's cool. I'm hoping it's fun. I love, and I also hope it's not. I love tiny little horror video games. That Blair Witch game that came out, The Medium. Like, just give me those little small horror.
You
games.
liked it when they did the like first-person Pac-Man horror game.
Yeah,
I know you played
Dark
that
Descent,
one a lot.
yeah.
You liked Until Dawn when they did the Man of Meridian.
Yep.
Whatever. The House of the Dark, right?
Yeah, the
House of Medan.
Yeah,
Man of Medan
was the first one of the Dark Pictures or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever
something,
yeah.
But those like vignette kind of horror games. Did you play Alien Isolation?
I did not play Alien Isolation. Outlast is also really good.
Oh, it's weird because I love horror things. I can't do the survival horror. Give me a gun, like Evil Within, Resident Evil. I could do those.
There's one that's coming out that's in the world of Dead by Daylight. Something Frank Castle is another one I'm excited about.
Victor Stone.
Is it Victor Stone?
Right? Or are we just naming 2 other people?
Frank Castle is
the Punisher.
Punisher. That's not right.
Well, and it's Victor Stone is Cyborg.
There's something.
We're warming up into this, right?
Dead by Daylight. Something. I thought Castle was the name. I think I might have it still on my phone. Or I just literally deleted it today. I think I did delete it today. Fuck, I did.
Now we're just staring at our thing.
Stone might be right. You might be right with Stone. The casting of something Stone?
Frank Stone. We just mixed them.
Oh,
Victor Stone, Frank Castle.
Is it casting?
The casting of Frank
that's
Stone.
That's where I got Okay.
Man, we are all over the place.
We're all over the place. But I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, anyway, horror games.
I'm
bad at survival. I like whatever horror games happen. I don't know. I always say I'm going to be ready for these like Killer Clowns. I'm like, oh, that's exciting. And you can get XP by playing against bots, and you can like just play the game solo. I still don't own it.
You never play, yeah. So, But what do we have? Oh, Alone in the Dark over there. I still want to play. That's another.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that one is,
I also
but-
got. I think I got the Dead Space remaster over there too.
That one's cool.
Which would be fun
Yeah.
because I liked playing it the first time around. So having a remaster.
I played a lot of it, but I never finished it because we
Oh,
were
I
doing
didn't
it for
beat it.
stream.
I
and then
didn't
we
beat
ended
it
the
either.
stream.
Mine wasn't for such a
Right.
simple reason. Mine was going. I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we did it. We got through all the D23 news. There was a lot of it. Oh my God! But we got through it all.
There was a
Some
lot.
exciting, some middle of the road. But thank you so much for hanging out tonight, everybody. Really appreciate it. If you're listening later, thanks for listening. Thank you so much. Make sure you head on over to twitch.tv/RealPixel to watch the next one live. Patreon.com/RealPixel so you can get up to date with all the stuff with us. And if you're over on the YouTubes, please like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Stokes, you got anything else?
I got nothing else.
All right, then we're going to wrap up as we always do with a sweet dreams, and we'll see you for breakfast.